look at you in a dress.
Shut your fucking mouth. It's not a dress, bitch. It's a skirt.
Shut your mouth before I fuck it.
It has pockets. I just don't want my feetsies in this. I'm going to tuck them all up.
Get them in there. Get them in there.
Get them in there. You know what I
Where'd
mean?
Aaron's legs go?
Yeah, they're gone. It's just I'm like a prairie wife.
How elegant.
Oh, yes. It has pockets.
I heard that.
Okay.
I expect any
I didn't know
skirt.
if it came out of my mouth.
I expect any skirt you wear has pockets.
That's fair.
It is the primary, like,
Selling point.
in a dress. If
Yeah.
I'm ever going to buy one, I'm
Yeah.
like, it has to have pockets.
Yeah.
though.
I still need a place to put my phone.
Sometimes the pockets aren't right, though, and then they make little weird pooches, and I'm like, not my favorite look.
Yeah. Sometimes it turns because it's all the fucking same all the way around. And then I'm like, why is my pocket on my like crotch?
Why do I have a wedgie? In my butt? Why is my pocket in my
Is
butt crack?
phone touching my butthole? What's happening? And then you gotta like get from the behind or twist it. I don't know.
man.
You know? Fashion.
Fashion we know nothing about.
God damn!
How's it going, Aaron?
Oh, it's going pretty good. You want to hear my goddamn?
Obviously.
Obviously. I just got back from Arizona. That is my entire goddamn is holy
Road
fucking
trip.
shit. Our spring break is over and we went to Arizona for the last like 4 days of it or whatever. Jesus Christ. It was a lot of fun. Met a lot of animals. Pet a lot
the
of
best
donkey.
part.
Pet a lot of horse. Pet a lot of things.
Donkeys are like the sweetest animals.
Oh my God, he was so sweet. I love
You'd
him so
never
much.
know. You would just guess, you know.
No, I've heard that they're like mean or aggressive or whatever, but every donkey I've met has been the best. Yeah.
You know what are mean and aggressive? Alpaca. Fuck those things.
Fucking apparently. Yeah, they are pushy, to say the least.
Very spitty.
Yeah. But, oh, man, we finally drove back last night and got home at like 9:30 or something. Oh, my God.
You're operating on fumes.
Literally. And I did like revenge bedtime where I'm like, I just want to be in my bed and stay up late and do the shit that I want to do. And so stayed up too late last night and all
Here
that.
you are.
Yeah.
And
but
here
the
you are at
kids-
my house. Break of dawn.
Literally break it on. But the kids don't have school today. They start school tomorrow. So like they get one more day of rest or whatever.
Oh, that's nice.
Kind of. Yeah. Except that no one in our house could wake up on time this morning. So tomorrow's going to be rough. We'll see.
I fucking bet, man. Dude, we tried to do the same thing because my younger one relies so much on routine. And, spring break, the routine got thrown out the window.
You
but
try
we-
and practice for a couple days
Yeah,
beforehand.
we were trying.
Yeah.
And then Easter was like, why did they do Easter? And then my kids had to go back on Monday.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So they've been back for a whole week, which is actually my goddamn is they've been back for a whole week. And today my youngest is homesick.
Wah, wah.
But at least he went that first week back because it was
Yeah.
he has trouble going, and I thought that was going to be pretty sketchy. But
Yeah, that's awesome. He went no problem on that Monday.
no problem. He's like really turned a big
Unpredictable.
leaf.
Oh.
Well, yeah, unpredictable for sure, but he's turned a big leaf. Like
Yeah.
he's been doing so well, and I've been so proud. So I was really taken aback by this morning, and I'm
Well, he's
I'm over
not
here
feeling
crossing my
good.
fingers that I'm pretty sure it's because he's getting sick, that we just had a little rough morning today. But anyway,
Yeah.
if you hear me next week being like, God damn it, then that means I'm
Goddamn
back at the drawing
relapse.
board. Yeah. Back to therapy.
Yeah. Oh no, poor little guy.
I
Well,
know.
I hope for everyone's sake that he is sick and he gets over it quickly. You know?
Yeah, for sure. We'll see. It's either that or like tomorrow, then he's going to have the fever and it's going to be like a 4-day streak, Yeah, it's either one or the other.
You know?
Either one day of rest and you feel great or fuck it.
Yeah, or this is the beginning of the end.
I thought for sure he was just like milking it. And then when I was carrying him to the car, I'm like, ooh, he's kind of warm.
It's actually really hot. Can you get off
And
me?
then when he was fussing, I was debating just like surfboard carrying him into the office and being like, hey guys, help, thanks, bye, whatever.
Yeah,
Like
I
which
got
has-
you this.
Yeah, which has worked in the past. But then I'm like, if I do that and he's like, I have a headache, like the nurses right there are gonna be like, you have to come get him.
Should I call you when you get to your car, or do you
Yeah.
just want to talk
Yeah.
about it now?
Your kid has snot and has a headache. Maybe
Yeah.
you should leave him at home. Maybe today he can't learn.
You're like, all right, fair enough. Well, give him a day. He'll be all right.
Yeah.
He'll push through.
But then he would have got the attendance mark if I did that. So
Don't you
I don't
hate
know.
that? It's so stupid.
I know, but he's trying. So he's using it as his measurement of success. Like they send it to us every month. And he wants to be in the green.
Yeah.
And he's 1 day from being in the green, but now he's about to be like 2 or 3.
Poor little guy.
I know. Well, listen, he'll learn.
My baby girl, well, it's all Brandon's attendance record. He like prides himself on it because he's like, yes, I woke up again.
I did it.
And I'm like, way to go. But baby girl gets like fucking parties and shit from the teachers. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm the only one who got Chick-fil-A today. I'm like, what? Who bought you Chick-fil-A?
Damn,
Yeah.
that's really fancy. My kids come home with keychains, and they'll be stoked about that. And it's like a keychain every month. Like January, you had perfect attendance.
Oh, that's fun.
So then my older one always has them. My younger one rarely gets them.
He just takes them from the older one.
Probably.
I'm going to take
Which
it.
is funny because the younger one is the one who would be excited for stuff like that.
Right. And the older one's like, whatever.
Oh, my God.
Throw it on the shelf.
Yep, don't care. And then I just secretly throw it away later.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Anyway, okay. So do you want to hear a spectacular case that I have put together for you this week?
I sure do.
I bet you do.
Spectacular, you say.
I said it, and I would say it again. Spectacular. You guys, disclaimer. I fucking spent all week researching this. Hours. It was like every day was an 8-hour day researching.
Oh, God.
So.
That's a job.
I have a long-ass episode for you this
Oh, my God.
week.
Oh, I'm excited.
It's a lot of research. Just enjoy the journey, okay?
Yeah, it's about the journey, not the destination.
It's about the journey. So this week on episode 379, I'm going to tell you about...
Bum, bum, bum.
8 scientists.
8 of them.
8 of them.
Oh.
Which is why it takes so long. Are you ready? Are you also on the side of TikTok?
I am.
8 scientists who between 2024 and this year, 2026, have either disappeared or died under unexplained or unusual circumstances.
Okay.
So like on their own, each of these cases have like an official explanation or remains an open investigation. But when you kind of like map them all out and their careers and the institutions that they worked at, some are arguing that there's a pattern.
Some kind of connections here.
Some sort of conspiratorial pattern, which a girl loves, right?
Girl loves a conspiracy.
So many of these scientists were working in overlapping areas of aerospace, plasma physics, like big national labs, and defense-linked research programs. Defense as in our government defending the United States of America, like rockets and shit.
War defense.
Exactly. The Department of War.
Oh, the department. Did you watch the astronauts come back, by the way?
You know, my kid had a game during that time, so like somebody was streaming it, and then something intense happened in the game the moment they landed, so I missed it, but I heard they got here fine.
Yeah. We watched the whole thing and watched them all. They sat there for like 2 hours, and they're like, they can't talk to him. I'm like, maybe they got fucking shaken up on the way down. That shit was rough.
I fucking bet, man. I can't imagine.
No.
Like any second being like, we might be blown to smithereens. So, like I said, with the timing of these 8 scientists who have either gone missing or died under suspicious or, you know, not clear, questionable circumstances, with the timing of all these events so clustered closely together within those 2-year span, speculation has begun to grow that maybe this is not coincidence and that maybe something larger is at play here. Perhaps they're being targeted. The first overlap between all of these cases begins at one of the most well-known scientific institutions in the world, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, which is commonly called JPL.
Okay.
Now, before I get into all these stories, I just want to my brain likes to understand the outline of something before we blast into it. So I'm going to tell you about these 8 scientists and each of their cases, and I'm going to go into as much detail as I was able to find. And I'm not going in chronological order.
Okay.
Because it made the story jump around. I tried to put it that way, and it kind of made it jump around. So what I'm doing is kind of by institutions. So we're starting out with NASA's JPL. Okay. JPL is responsible for many of NASA's most advanced robotic space missions, including Mars rovers, deep space probes, and some of the most sophisticated Earth observation satellites that have ever been built, just in case anybody doesn't know. It's a place where scientists, engineers, and physicists work on technology that often sit at the edge of what we currently understand about space, energy systems, and planetary science. So this is like leading edge technology lab.
Yes.
For shit that goes flying into the sky and into space and shit.
Got it.
And arguably surveillance of the Earth. But
that's besides the point.
So within this time window we're looking at, 2 individuals connected to JPL experience very different but equally unexplained events, okay? The first of those individuals is Frank Maiwald. He was a senior scientist and technical group supervisor at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
Okay.
BT dubs, we're going to get into like literal rocket science, but I dumb it down so much because I don't know rocket science.
Neither do I.
Okay,
Thank you.
so if anything is weird or confusing, I probably can't answer it, but call me out so that we don't leave everybody weird and confused.
I'll try, but
Okay.
I also am not that smart. So we'll get there.
You're smart. You're smart enough for this, I think.
All right.
And like I said,
actually, it should be -5 Celsius.
I originally started writing and explaining all this shit because I am that person who wants to understand everything, and then I was like, this is too fucking
You're like, quantum physics, let me read it before bed.
I don't need to teach everybody this. And I don't even, it didn't stick in my head. We're learning together as I read my notes again. Okay. So he was a technical group supervisor at JPL, right?
Yes.
Frank was born June 24th, 1964 in Germany, and he went on to build a long career in physics and advanced space instrumentation.
Good for him.
I know. Very smart guy. During his time at JPL, Frank worked on multiple major satellite missions, including Jason 3 and the Surface Water and Ocean Topography mission, also known as SWAT.
I thought Jason 3 was just a horror movie. Come on.
So basically those missions were satellites that they put up in our atmosphere to be able to study the Earth.
All right.
And so these scientists would help monitor Earth's water systems by sending microwave signals from space on the satellite down to the surface of the ocean, and then they would measure how long it would take for the signal to bounce back.
Okay.
And from this data, scientists can calculate extremely precise measurements like ocean height, water movement, and long-term changes in global climate patterns, so we can measure global warming and shit.
Okay.
Also, these satellites could potentially monitor ships on an ocean, who's coming, who's going.
Yeah.
Like, it could be used for surveillance.
They also had a good view of that.
Right. But
It's not what
it
they
was
were.
intended to measure the ocean's waters and to understand
Okay.
what's going on.
Allegedly.
So Frank's role on these missions focused on the hardware and the instrumentation side, meaning that he helped design and build the equipment that allows the measurements to be taken from orbit.
Okay.
These systems have to operate in extremely harsh conditions in space. So engineering behind them is incredibly complex. It's not super simple. It's very specialized,
Yeah. Space
information.
stuff.
In addition to Earth's observation missions, Frank was involved in research related to detecting biosignatures on other planetary bodies, including moons like Europa and Enceladus, which are moons, I think, on like Saturn and Jupiter or something.
Okay.
But scientists believe that they could potentially harbor microbial life beneath their icy surfaces. And so he was involved in missions that were able to detect what was fucking made up on that moon, right?
Okay.
While working at JPL, Frank also contributed to the development of a tool known as the Band 5 local oscillator. In simple terms, this type of instrument is used in radio astronomy to help scientists identify what distant objects in space are made out of, like the moons, right?
Okay.
It works by emitting a known frequency and combining it with extremely high frequency signals coming from distant stars and galaxies or planetary systems. And when we combine, because those are really high frequencies that like our instruments can't measure. And he learned that if you combine that really high frequency with a low frequency, you make a medium frequency.
Yeah.
And then you can measure different things from that frequency so that you understand what molecules and particles make up of that world, planet, whatever, right?
Okay. Sure.
So when they interact, they produce a unique signal that the scientists can measure and analyze. And because every molecule emits a unique frequency signature, scientists can use these signals to determine things like the chemical composition of stars, planets, and even detect the presence of water. So this is the whole reason why we even know what's going on in our planetary system, is because this dude created the instrument to be able to measure that.
Smart guy.
And I think we had the ability to do that for lower frequencies, but he figured out how to get like all the information.
Yeah.
So the Band 5 system operates in a range. Ooh, see, this might be a little too detailed. So the Band 5, in case anybody's interested, who knows any of this shit, because I don't. But the Band 5 system operates in a range of 158 to 211 gigahertz, which is far higher than like everyday radio signals. For comparison, the FM radio that we have listened to in the 90s, and maybe somebody still does, those are around 100 megahertz, which is more than 1,000 times lower in frequency.
Okay.
So it's a very like breakthrough idea here. So in other words, Frank was working with incredibly sensitive equipment designed to detect signals from across the universe. And by all accounts, Frank was also known as someone who genuinely loved working with people. So not only was he smart, but he was a nice guy.
Okay.
Colleagues describe him as someone who would invite his entire team over to his house to prepare for mission-critical launches, or to celebrate successful ones.
That's nice. You can't come to my house, though.
Yeah, I know. Like he was like a very important person at JPL.
Yeah.
And he invited people over. He loved playing Uno with friends, going on bike rides.
Who doesn't love playing
I
Uno,
know.
though?
Uno is like the best. The
Honestly.
easiest,
Yeah.
mind-numbing game ever.
We have Uno tournaments at our house.
Ooh, girl. So he loved going on bike rides and traveling, and he was often described as the first person to get up and dance at work parties, and everyone, like when everybody else was still too shy.
Aw, he sounds like a good time. So he's a nerd and an extrovert.
Yep. Several colleagues even mentioned that Frank was the kind of guy who had like a twinkle in his eye when he smiled, and something that people remembered about him long after meeting him. I read several people say, like, when he smiled, he just had this twinkle in his eye. I was like,
Kris Kringle, motherfucker.
that's the best way to go missing, my friend.
A twinkle in his eye. I've never heard that before.
Ding. It's like those
like,
Orbit commercials.
Yeah.
So, July 4th, 2024. So just 2 years ago, right?
Okay, yeah.
Frank Maiwald, he died at his home in Los Angeles at the age of 61.
Oh, no.
His cause of death has never publicly been disclosed. There's no autopsy information that has been released publicly, and there was no detailed reporting or public statements or anything from NASA or JPL explaining any kind of circumstances around his death.
Did he have a family and stuff?
He did, and there's nothing. You can't find nothing.
Okay.
Nothing, girl.
He's just dead.
Nothing. He died at 61. We don't know why.
At his house.
Exactly. At his house in LA. And girl, you better believe, okay, so if everybody's like, why'd this take her so long at the end? It's because I fucking hunted every trail down.
Because they tried.
I looked at all the calls for service in LA, in the Pasadena area, which is like where he was from. I found some things that like maybe could have been related to him. And then I found an old YouTube channel of a history of all the 911 calls because it was July 4th, right, of that year. And I was trying to figure out what time of day did he die. And I was listening to 3 hours of 911 calls. And I couldn't focus and research and listen. So I couldn't find anything. But I was trying to figure out, like, was there any kind of call? And then the only kind of information I could find was through his obituary. Like, everybody was spilling the tea in his obituary. That's where I got all the information on everything he fucking worked on.
And his twinkly fucking
eyes. But even in his obituary, there was no information regarding the events surrounding his death. And there was like literally no coverage in the media about any kind of health decline or any accounts on how he passed away or anything.
61 is still pretty young.
That's what I think,
Especially for a guy who goes on bike rides and stuff.
Yeah, very healthy, right?
Yeah.
So friends and colleagues who left the messages on his obituary, they all pretty much expressed surprise and shock over his passing. So I'm guessing it was very unexpected, which 61, sure. But I'm saying here, don't think the guy had cancer.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been like a heart attack and all that.
Could have been, yeah.
Some aneurysm, whatever.
It literally could have been anything.
Okay.
But we know no information. There's no information anywhere. This is a well-discussed conversation at this point, right? Like everybody's been talking about these 8 scientists.
Yeah.
And no one has been able to dig up any information, which again, as we go through these things, I'm always going to highlight. I find it interesting, the info we can't find. And I feel like that gives me a little more detail into everything.
Yeah.
You know? And again, it could just be like family want privacy. So that could be it too.
Sure.
So one colleague even mentions that they had traveled with Frank just a month before his death and that he appeared completely normal at the time. Okay. So I'm guessing this really was like you said, a cardiac event or something.
Yeah.
As far as public reporting shows, there was no formal investigation suggesting any kind of foul play or anything. And so that's kind of where his story ends. Like on his own, his death simply might just be a tragic natural loss.
Yeah, unfortunate loss of all that intelligence and everything too.
Right, exactly. But and I think he was retired. I don't know. Maybe there's 8 of them, so I might be mixing it up. I can't remember if he was retired or not. But so it could just be that. But as we keep going, it's kind of suspicious.
Okay.
So less than a year after Frank's passing, another scientist connected to that whole little broader research ecosystem I was describing disappears under circumstances that remain unexplained. And
Disappeared.
Look at me, I'm giving you breadcrumbs to keep you interested.
Yes.
So like Frank, this next individual also had ties to advanced aerospace research and NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Her name was Monica Hancito Reza.
Okay.
So Monica was an experienced aerospace engineer and materials scientist who spent much of her career working at the intersection of advanced materials and propulsion systems.
Okay.
Again, in the sky,
Yes.
right? So the shit that makes up the rocket and what makes the rocket go.
Mm-hmm.
She held positions within aerospace companies, including Aerojet Rocketdyne, which is a major defense and aerospace contractor known for developing rocket engines and propulsion technologies used in both civilian space programs and military systems, right?
Okay.
Later in her career, around 2023, Monica began working in connection with NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, placing her within the same broader scientific environment as Frank, right?
Okay.
Monica's work focused heavily on developing high-performance materials capable of surviving extreme temperatures and stress, conditions that you would obviously find inside of a rocket engine, right, at high-speed aerospace systems.
Makes sense.
Right. One of her most notable contributions was a patented nickel-based superalloy known as Mondalloy that she discovered.
I've heard of that.
Have you?
Yeah.
So the name itself is actually a combination from the Mon of her name and Monica.
Aw.
And then there's a D in there because her partner's name was Dallas, and then alloy at the end, right? So this alloy was specifically designed to withstand the intense combustion and heat involved in rocket propulsion.
Okay.
How do you know about it? I'm so interested.
I've just heard the name. I've heard the
Really?
word before. Yeah, probably from a fucking TikTok.
Do you think you have
about
Star
this lady.
Wars?
No, it was what was his name? It's gone now.
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. Yeah.
I had to think about
I
it.
was like,
Mandalorian?
Montreal.
Mandalorian. I recognized it when I read it too, and then I
Yeah.
chalked it up to Star Wars. I was like, there's no way I knew about that. But that's interesting. Okay, so before materials like this were developed domestically, some of the components that were capable of surviving those kind of temperatures had historically been sourced from overseas manufacturers like Russia.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum. But Monica's work helped provide an American-developed alternative, making the technology strategically important in both aerospace innovation and national security, right?
Yeah.
We're not buying shit from Russia anymore.
Yeah.
We can create the material on our
Yeah.
own.
She's like, check this shit out.
And
Super
she
strong.
held the patent for it, okay?
Okay.
Her research also intersected with projects supported by organizations such as the Air Force Research Laboratory, meaning that her work existed within a broader network of government-funded scientific development. So this laboratory, the Air Force Research Laboratory, is important later on in a story because another scientist that I'm going to tell you about headed the whole fucking laboratory, okay?
Oh,
And
okay.
her research was directly funded by that laboratory. So
Okay.
she's in super secret squirrel shit.
Yeah.
Okay? By all accounts, Monica was highly respected in her field and deeply committed to her work. Outside of the lab, she was known as an avid hiker and someone who spent a lot of times outdoors. On June 22nd, 2025, Monica went hiking in Angeles National Forest in California, the way I want to say Los. in front of
Yeah,
that.
every time. Yeah.
Which is an area that she was very familiar with and had reportedly hiked many times before.
Okay.
On the day that she was hiking, she was with a partner, and at one point they were, which no name has been disclosed that I've been able to find who the partner that she was with was.
Yeah.
They just call him like suspect A or something. I don't even know if they put suspect, like just person
Suspect.
A.
Yeah. Fucking guy closest or person.
So hiking with a partner, and at one point they were walking along the ridgeline. A ridgeline? I don't know which one.
The one in Angeles.
Yeah. And her partner was about 30 feet ahead of her on the trail. Now, I also heard accounts that they were like running back. Like they did this loop all the time, and this was at the very end of the trail, and they're running back.
Okay.
And I think it's a he, is 30 feet ahead of her. And
That's
he
not
turned,
that far.
No, not that bad. And he turned around, and Monica waves, like, keep going. I'm trying.
We're solid.
You're killing it. I'll be there eventually, right?
Yeah.
That moment would become the last confirmed sighting of Monica. The weather conditions that day were clear, and the trail they were on was very well known and frequently traveled hiking route. It wasn't like some super secret.
Yeah. Backwoods thing.
Yeah, yeah.
When Bobcat took her. Mountain lion.
maybe drug her ass off the trail.
Take it from the side.
Oh no,
So she's
Missing.
fucking gone. Off
Monica's
the trail.
missing on a trail that she normally hikes. When Monica failed to return to make contact later that day,
Later
search
that
effort-
day, he wasn't like 20 minutes in the parking lot and
Probably.
maybe take a loop back.
probably, but later.
Yeah, all right.
It was like, this is suspicious.
She's still gone.
So I guess search efforts were initiated. I don't know if the cops were called or what, but
Yeah.
people started searching. So despite extensive searches of the surrounding area, no confirmed sightings, remains, or clear explanation of her disappearance have been publicly reported. I did read randomly, I think last night when I wasn't even trying to research, it just popped up. that somebody found a beanie that might be associated with her, but I don't know if that's true. Didn't actually dig down it. So that could just be a side thing. Other than that, she's just gone. There's no like, we followed her footprints. None of that shit. It's just, she's gone.
Can we get trackers out there?
Ain't nothing. Many experienced hikers familiar with that trail have stated that it would be very difficult for someone to become lost there without eventually being located because of how frequently the area is traversed.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a super secret area.
Well, especially if you're familiar with the area. There's trails all over. You're probably like, oh, there's that trail.
Right.
You know?
I feel like it would be like if you're hiking around here.
Yeah.
Like, there's parts where you're alone, but like...
Yeah. But like you could look over there and be like, there's the freeway.
Put a chopper in the air and find you pretty quick. Yeah.
Was she wearing red? Got it.
Yeah, exactly. There were also online discussions from individuals who claimed to have participated in the early search efforts, suggesting that Monica's hiking partner behaved somewhat strangely during the initial search period.
Okay, but also, it's hard to not behave strangely if the person that you were hiking with is missing. And
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know what happened. Like, listen, guys, I'm sorry.
I really was just running ahead.
I don't know what happened.
Or if you do know what happens and you're just trying to cover, you might act strangely.
That's true, too.
So we don't really know.
Act strange as fuck if you ever go missing, though.
Yeah, me too. Those claims or whatever have not been confirmed by investigators. Investigators aren't like, he's suspicious. It's all the web sleuths that are like, that's fucking
That's
weird.
weird, yeah.
That person was the last person with her. When we were searching, they seemed a little off.
Yeah.
Didn't love it, right?
Lock
but the
him
investigators are like, nope, not investigating that person.
Yeah, like he's been cleared for whatever reason.
Right. As of today, Monica Reza remains listed as a missing person, and her disappearance has never been fully explained. Like, she's still missing today.
Okay.
She just disappeared. And that's all I have for Monica. She developed this super, super secret awesome alloy that
That
now
she
we
has
don't
the
need
patent
Russia
for?
for. And she just went missing on a hike, which is
What happens
weird.
to a patent if a person dies?
Well, because she was working at JPL, I'm assuming that JPL actually owns it and she just gets credit and maybe like bonuses and shit for it. So now that she's dead, they just get to own it outright 100%.
Okay.
That's suspicious.
That's suspicious.
Who runs NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory?
Are you going to tell me?
Should we Google it?
Oh.
I don't know it. Let's see if it's probably like government funded.
Right.
Who owns JPL? Managed by the California Caltech. That's even more suspicious. Do you know who helps fund Caltech? Epstein. Anyway, I digress.
Anyway.
And the likes thereof. Okay.
I like how you just know that off the top of your head.
I'm
I know
obsessed.
all of his fucking companies.
All the major universities
Yeah.
he helped strategically fund. Not just him, but like his inner circle.
Yeah, his
and they're all
people.
meddled in it. Okay, Erin? It's not just like, oh, we had an idea and we held a conference and now they like us. It's like, no, my buddy is running that thing and I got him hired there through these networks and connections because I want him there so that I can fund the research I want and then
I'm
I can
interested in
control how
this.
that research goes. But I digress. Anyway, okay, so Monica, super ally, Mandalorian, missing.
Yeah, Mandalorian, gone.
So at this point, we have two individuals connected to JPL, and they have experienced very different but equally sort of unresolved outcomes. Frank's just dead and Monica's missing.
Okay.
On their own, they simply represent unrelated tragedies, but we're going to continue moving forward because similar events begin to appear in another highly sensitive scientific environment at Los Alamos National Laboratory. Los Alamos, if you don't know, is one of the most historically significant research facilities in the United States. It was originally established during World War II as part of the Manhattan Project, and that's the secret government program responsible for developing the first nuclear weapons.
Oh, good.
I don't know if you guys remember, like, I wasn't paying attention in history or because they don't teach us the cool fun shit. But basically, the Manhattan Project was this whole, like, pretend city that, like, everybody was just pretending to be, like, a normal city on top. But underground, everybody was a government worker and they were building this nuclear bomb.
Okay.
And so it's kind of known as, like, this big cover up by the government because we all eventually found out that they made a nuclear bomb there. But they fudged everybody else because they were like, look, it's just a normal city. Everybody lives here. It's just a normal city. Nothing to see here. But they were all scientists and they were all in on the lie.
Weird.
So now today it exists and it remains one of the country's primary centers for national security research, nuclear science, advanced physics, and defense-related technology development. But now we just all know about it, right? But they're still doing the same shit.
Yeah. Still doing secret squirrel shit, but like
You're not
we
allowed
all
to
know
know
that they're over there doing it.
Yeah, but we don't know what they're doing. But if you were going to be at the cutting edge of technology,
That's where you are.
yeah.
Okay.
And that in JPL, right? Because you got to make things go in the air. Thousands of scientists, engineers, and technical staff work there on highly specialized projects, many of which are classified and restricted due to their connection to national defense. The first individual connected to Los Alamos is Anthony Chavez, who was a former employee of Los Alamos National Laboratory.
Okay.
Anthony, in 2025, was a 79-year-old man who was a former employee of Los Alamos National Laboratory who had retired in 2017 after a long career.
Yeah, that's a long career.
The laboratory is one of the United States' most famous research facilities, kind of what I've already told you, but it was originally established during World War II as part of the Manhattan Project, and its main goal was to develop the first nuclear weapon before Nazi Germany could, which we did. Now, the lab is...
Yeah, we also won the space race.
Yeah,
but I digress.
Allegedly.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I say it like that. And we didn't do anything good with it, so it's kind of a black hole on our reputation.
Womp womp.
Oh, black tarnish. So, now Anthony lived in the prefabricated Denver Steels neighborhoods, which is a government-provided housing near the lab.
Okay.
And those neighborhoods were originally built during the Cold War to quickly accommodate scientists and their families in a secure, centralized community, but they're now used for the lab workers, right?
Okay.
Despite his retirement, Anthony remained part of the extended community connected to Los Alamos, and he still lived in that, like, all your coworkers live around you. You're basically still living on campus without having to go to work every day, but you have access to everything.
Yeah, but a lot of those old guys, too, especially in, like, a very specialized industry like that, like to stay...
Hang around, still help out in their spare time.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's what he was doing.
Talk about it, yeah.
Yep. So exactly. He was still very much a part of the community and involved. On May 8th, 2025, which is like a year ago.
Yeah.
When friends and families couldn't get a hold of Anthony for a few days, they called the police to perform a welfare check on him.
Mm-hmm. Where's Anthony at?
Where's Tony? Now, Anthony did not carry a cell phone.
Well, he's 79 years old.
I know, kind of tracks.
He has got a jitterbug.
Yeah, or like if you're a super secret squirrel scientist, you're like, I don't want some fucking device to track my ass everywhere I'm going.
They fucking watch you on that shit, trust me.
Yeah, so he didn't carry a cell phone. So for him to not answer his home phone for a few days was like a real red flag to friends and family.
Yeah, he's probably even got an answering machine. So like,
I bet.
If he's not calling you back, something's wrong. He hasn't been home
fishy.
for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Who's watching his cat?
Who? So, when the police checked on him, they discovered his car was locked in the driveway, and inside of his home sat his keys, his wallets, and his cigarette, all on the living room coffee table. Mm-hmm. Not just one cigarette, all of them.
Okay, I was like his morning cigarette.
Maybe
He
not the
labeled
whole carton,
it Tuesday.
but for sure a pack.
Yeah.
His house looked all in order, and there were no signs of forced entry, and there was no blood anywhere inside or outside of his home.
Stop it. He's just gone.
And there's also no Anthony.
Oh, no. A 79-year-old man, number one, can't get far without his car.
Right.
Like,
question.
Especially
I don't know,
on
he looked pretty young and spry. Maybe not young, but he looked spry.
Yeah, but
in the one picture I saw.
Listen, an 80-year-old man is not that spry. Like, you can be spry,
fair,
but, like, for 80, you know? Like,
fair.
He's still going to Denny's every Sunday.
Yeah.
Spry.
I don't know. Maybe he was, like, into juicing.
Maybe. But then, like, he's going to be in his little prefab neighborhood. You think it's a little grid. It's only 6 blocks. I don't know anything about it. But this is what I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. Is a small little town, neighborhood, whatever. It's a compact, densely populated area.
Where'd he go?
Yeah, like he'd be around.
Is he in the lab somewhere? Somebody go check on him.
Be around.
The lead detective said that it looked like Anthony just got up and left with literally nothing.
Yeah,
there
but
was no struggle.
Was his door locked? His front door?
I don't know if they
because that would be like got up and left, but then you'd need your keys and shit. It doesn't mean you got up and left. That looks like you're just gone.
It looked like you just disappeared.
You
know what's crazy though is like I did all this fucking research and there really is not that much detail available to the public. Mm-hmm. To me, as somebody who, like, we've been researching forever, usually you can find a handful of articles and put the full story together.
And, like, from neighbors and shit where they're like, yeah.
The most bare bones information that would be required to satisfy the public until they forgot about it is what we get.
Well, and all separately, because obviously we're putting all of these things, or you're putting all of these things together, but separately, like, one guy missing isn't a giant event.
No,
you know?
It's like, that's weird. But then when you put it, and by
sad and a tragedy, but like for them, for that family, not for like everyone. You know, it's not like a
stop
groundbreaking. Yeah.
It's weird, right? Okay.
Yes.
So
does he have family?
Yeah.
Okay.
They all have family, and nobody's talking. Nobody's saying anything. Frank had family, and nobody's saying anything. So then I'm like, is it just that what you said, like you're just grieving and worried and you don't want to do interviews?
Yeah.
But I would also think I'd be the first one being like, interview my ass. I'll tell you everything. Help me find.
Well, and I'd be like, Papa always went on Tuesday to get his scratchers and his fucking cigarettes or whatever.
And then
like,
he never returned. No. There's none of that. It's just like, this is fucking weird. He's just gone.
That's weird.
So when they investigated Anthony's last known activity, they discovered that on May 5th, which was the day before he went missing, he made a few calls in the evening and that there was no further phone activity after that. Same with his bank account. The last known transaction was the day before, and there hasn't been any transactions after that. So he's gone.
Okay.
Cadaver dogs were called in, and they searched the neighborhood. They also searched around some of Anthony's family's homes. Now, I don't know if that suggests they think maybe they might be involved or something, but they looked, and they never got any kind of hits.
Well, he could have been like a well-off guy type of situation. So then you're like, is the family doing it for
who would benefit from the insurance money?
Yeah, especially an older person.
Right.
Look where the money's going.
Yeah. So as of today, which is, April 2026, Anthony is still missing, and there have been no further leads to his whereabouts. Anthony's close friend has been very vocal about how he feels that something bad happened to his friend and that he would never just get up and leave voluntarily.
Yeah.
So that's the only person we have saying, this shit seems fishy.
This is fucking suspicious. Well, a 79-year-old man is not just going to get up and start over.
No way.
Like, not without
Especially
his cigarettes.
Especially if your whole career is your identity.
Right.
Again, you're living. You're so
in
immersed
your community.
in it.
It's everything. It's your entire life.
Like, something happened.
Or aliens.
I hope it's aliens. So, it's not publicly available what type of work he did at Los Alamos, obviously. Like, I can imagine it's pretty secretive. And 1 month after he went missing, all local media coverage of the incident completely stopped. There's no further information given. It was just like...
They've still got billboards up for Nancy Guthrie. How are they not gonna... A month later, they're fucking... Anthony's dead?
I think only recently, because this trend has hit TikTok of all these 8 scientists or whatever, I think that's the only reason public interest has been reinvested. Otherwise, we'd all forget about it and it would all disappear, right?
Yeah.
Just some 79-year-old guy got lost, whatever. Or did he get lost or taken?
I don't know, man. If a 79-year-old man went missing in my neighborhood, I feel like we'd find him,
I know. It's weird, right? Especially if you're in like a super secret. You have to imagine that place is so surveilled.
Security. Yeah.
And nobody knows what happens.
And it's government housing. Are you telling me it's not gated and shit?
Questions.
Right.
I've lived on
the
government
HOA
housing.
would have been on it before anything.
The base people. Like, you have to fucking badge in and out to get anywhere. Like, that's insane. So... And I don't know if that's true for the neighborhood, but I have to imagine it would be, right?
Or at least a gated community.
At least. So his case remains open. However, like I said, the investigators are sort of at a standstill. There's just been no further information. And at this point in our story, we now have scientists connected to JPL, NASA's JPL, and now this Los Alamos place, right? But it doesn't end with just Anthony at Los Alamos, because just weeks later, another individual connected to the same lab would also disappear under unusual circumstances.
The same lab?
The same lab, and only weeks later.
Okay. So Papa Anthony has been retired, and his little protege now, I'm guessing.
Which, to be fair, there is no documented connection for any of these scientists actually knowing each other. But they all operated in the same ecosystems, okay?
Yeah.
So this next gal we're going to talk about is Melissa Casias. So Melissa was 53 years old in 2005, and she lived in Talpa, New Mexico with her husband, Mark.
2005?
Yeah. And she lived with her husband, Mark, and her daughter, Sierra.
Okay.
Both Melissa and Mark worked at Los Alamos, though Melissa's role was an administrative assistant. And the specific details of Mark's role at the laboratory have not been publicly disclosed. So we don't know what he was working in, but she was working as an admin assistant.
Okay.
Which I would argue, as previously being an admin assistant, you get access to all the information.
Yeah, you have your fingers in everything.
Yeah, you're booking the things, you're sitting in the meetings, you're helping them run the presentations. Like,
Whether or not you're the guy creating it, you know all about it.
Right. If you want to.
Or the girl, whatever, yeah.
So friends and family describe Melissa as kind, soft-spoken, and deeply family-oriented, especially very close with her daughter, Sierra. Outside of work, she was known for being very outdoorsy, and she enjoyed archery, hunting.
Archery?
God like, she was an archer.
Okay. Well, Peter Pan action. He didn't arch. Who did that? Robin Hood.
I was like, I don't know.
It's like another man in tights.
And she loved spending time with animals, particularly horses, dogs, and cats.
Okay.
People who knew her said that she was someone who was almost always smiling and rarely got angry, but also someone who tended to keep stress to herself rather than talk about it openly.
Fucking preach, girl. What's anyone else going to do about it? You know what I mean?
Honestly. I'm a mom. No one cares.
Exactly. She's like, sometimes I get to pet a dog, though, and that's nice.
That's pretty sick. On the morning of June 26, 2025, Melissa drove her husband, Mark, to work at Los Alamos.
Okay.
Because of where they lived in Talpa, the drive to the laboratory typically took between an hour and a half to 2 hours each way, depending on what traffic was like.
God damn.
God damn, it's right. I fucking had to drive an hour in just traffic. Like, it's only like a 20-minute drive, an hour every day for 11 years, and I want to die. I want to die.
It.
There's no way.
Yeah. I worked in downtown for 5 years of my life, and I wanted to kill myself every morning.
Never again,
And then when someone would kill themselves on the bridge, I was so mad. Fuck
Relatable.
you. Why did you create all this traffic for me?
I didn't do it.
Take me with you.
Yeah.
Where's the invite, bro?
If I can hold on longer, you can too.
Yeah.
Come on, get it together.
Just do it. Like Nike. Not kill yourself.
Yeah. Just get off the fucking bridge and go to work. Yeah. Anyway, so.
Sorry, I digress.
No, that's fine. Relatable. So the couple, Mark and Melissa, they leave their home at 6:15 a.m.
Gross.
I know. During their commute, Melissa realizes that she had forgotten her employee ID badge, which is required to enter the facility.
And she could get a visitor's badge from the office.
It's like you know how life works.
But yeah, they're not going to make you drive an hour and a half, fucking 3 hours, get back here. Why even show up at that point?
Well, after dropping off Mark, she told him that she planned to drive home to get her badge and that she was going to work remotely for part of the day. According to Mark, the two of them also discussed a plan for later that morning. He told investigators that that Melissa had agreed that she would return at 11 a.m. to pick him up because he needed the car to run some errands.
Okay.
What do they do? Like, I need these high-up jobs where, like, you just fucking leave in the middle of the day and go run some errands, you know?
I find it hard to believe that two fucking working scientists don't have two cars. Like, I get that you work in the same place, but, like, he needs the cars for errands. She needs the cars for archery.
Right. I could see, though, where you think you're going to go in together and leave together, so we'll just carpool, and then her being like, oh, fuck, I forgot my badge. I'm going to go get it. I'll just work remote till you need the car, and then I'll come in and I'll work the rest of the day or whatever.
I suppose. They may have more cars, and they just didn't.
I would honestly call it a wash and be like, I'm calling off for the day.
Oh, I would, too. There's no way I would go in after that.
But this was their game plan.
The day is ruined.
Yeah. So if you look at the timing, the decision is unusual in my opinion and also in yours, because if she dropped him off at 6:15 and the drive home took approximately an hour and a half, she would arrive at like 7:45, and then to get back by 11, she would have to leave the house by 9:30. So you're really going to work.
But there probably wouldn't be that much traffic then, right? Like it's later in the day.
That's only an hour and a half. Well, either way, it was either an hour and a half to 2 hours. So that's using the lesser of the two. That's saying an hour and a half. So that'd be like no traffic. That's just how long it takes them to get there. So
why do you live that far from your fucking work?
Why do you live that far from your fucking work? And then you're really going to work for an hour and a half?
Right.
Like, nah, girl, half an hour's logging in and logging out.
Right. Yeah. Like, and getting your coffee ready.
Just getting momentum, and then you're going to log out and go pick them up. That's your whole work day is driving. That's 2 hours of 4 hours of driving when you would have been working.
Yeah.
That's half your work day.
Absolutely
of an 8-hour day. That's insane.
Yeah. The day is a wash. Fuck it.
Right. So I find that suspicious, but that was their game plan, and that's the game plan Mark said they had.
Okay.
Now, around 7:30 a.m., Melissa's daughter, Sierra, she wakes up at home. And roughly 15 minutes later, she says that Melissa comes home, which that would align with an hour and a half drive time from there.
Okay.
Sierra asked her mom while she was home, like, what are you doing home? And Melissa explained that she had forgotten her badge and she planned to work remotely. Sierra later tells investigators that nothing about her mom's behavior seemed unusual at the time. She was just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
After that short interaction, Sierra left for her job at a cafe in Taos Plaza, which I don't know where that is, but in case you do, there you go.
Okay.
By 11 a.m., Mark was expecting Melissa to arrive at the lab to pick him up, but she never showed up. Surprise, surprise. And at first, Mark assumed that she had simply gotten busy with work or errands or something and didn't immediately think that anything was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Around that same time, however, Melissa's boss contacted Mark asking if she was all right. Because according to her boss, Melissa had never logged into work remote that day.
Uh-oh.
And that meant...
What time did Sierra leave?
I think she left like shortly after. Like she woke up and then went, like talked to her mom and then went to work. So maybe like 8 or 9 shift. But this meant that despite saying that she was going to work remotely from home, she had never actually logged in or started the day or anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Later that afternoon, security footage shows Melissa at a Subway restaurant around 12:30 p.m. purchasing lunch.
What?
Yeah.
Just fucking dilly-dallying?
Dilly-dallying. She's supposed to get him like an hour and a half ago.
She's like, you know what? Fuck that guy. He can work the whole goddamn day. He's got errands. I've got errands. I need Subway sandwich. Eat fresh.
Yeah. She then drove that lunch to the cafe where her daughter Sierra worked.
Oh, goddamn.
And cameras capture the two of them talking briefly between 12:50 and 12:57.
Okay.
During that interaction, Sierra gives her mom a check to deposit at a bank.
Okay.
Sierra later told investigators that her mom seemed a little quieter than usual, but that she didn't think anything was seriously wrong or anything at the time.
Yeah.
Then at 1:30 p.m., Mark texts Sierra asking if she had seen Melissa. When Sierra said that she had just seen her, Mark asked her to tell Melissa to come pick him up from work. Like, okay, cool, we located her.
She's not fucking answering me, so.
Yeah, can you tell her? So Sierra took a screenshot of the conversation and sent it to her mother. Phone records later confirmed that Melissa opened the message, but she never responded.
Okay.
So at approximately 2:18 p.m., a family acquaintance reported seeing Melissa walking westbound along New Mexico Highway 518 near Talpa, which is where she lives.
Walking? She has the car.
She was wearing...
On the freeway?
On the freeway. She was wearing the same clothes that she had been seen in earlier that day, and she was carrying a backpack.
What?
Also, you bring up a really good point. Nobody mentions if the car was found or where it was left or anything.
Yeah, like
maybe it does. No, it does. It does.
Oh,
it does. Okay, wait. Stick with me. Sorry.
Okay.
Remember,
sorry.
8 scientists. I've got them all mixed up in my head now. So, a nearby electric company had security cameras up, and it captured footage of Melissa walking along that road.
Fucking weird.
With
a backpack?
And a backpack. Investigators believe that shortly after that moment, Melissa entered a vehicle. I don't know why they believe that, but they think that. Okay, so I'm guessing they have footage or something of that. Or an eyewitness account. I don't know.
They had Native American trackers, and they're like, we lost the scent here. Or whatever.
This branch was broken by the door that was opened.
Yeah.
So after that point, Melissa was never seen again. Meanwhile, Mark was still waiting at work for Melissa to pick him up, right?
What the fuck?
By 2:30 p.m., he begins calling Sierra repeatedly because he was like, hey, Melissa hasn't arrived. I talked to you last. You said you saw her. Has she texted you back or anything?
Yeah.
But Sierra at this point is busy working. Like, it's rush hour, dude. At the cafe, it's lunch. We're not trying to answer phones.
I don't have time for this right now, Dad.
So she didn't notice all these missed calls.
Why don't you just apologize to Mom for whatever you did wrong?
Yeah, figured out. And I think he does leave her a voicemail that's kind of frantic, and she finally listens to it, and then she's like, oh, fuck, I need to go home and check on my mom because my dad's tripping, right?
Okay.
So around 3:30 p.m., Sierra returns home and immediately noticed something unusual because Melissa's car was parked in the driveway.
What?
That's where it's at.
That's where it's at.
Inside the house, Sierra found her mother's work phone and keys sitting on the counter. Mm-hmm. She went upstairs and she found Melissa's personal phone, wallet, and purse all upstairs. And even more strange is that both phones had been factory reset and wiped. Bum, bum, bum! What?
Okay, I have theories.
Okay.
Obviously, there's the ones that, you'll get into. But what if she's starting a new life?
Maybe. She could be.
And she knows how all this shit works. And she's like...
She was very close with Sierra. Very close. So, Mark eventually gets a ride home. I know we're all worried about Mark.
Thank God. He didn't have to Uber or anything?
He gets a ride home from a coworker, and he gets home about 5 p.m.
An hour and a half away, I'd be like, you're going to have to take the bus, motherfucker.
I know, right? That's crazy.
That's a really nice coworker.
That is.
Hopefully
Maybe
they live in the same
the
direction.
Same area, yeah. At that point, he contacted authorities and filed a missing persons report. Investigators noted that Melissa had future plans, including a family lake trip that had already been scheduled that they had all been excited about. Mainly her and Sierra were very excited about this lake trip.
Okay.
She was also scheduled to undergo knee replacement surgery in just a few days. So, like, she had shit on the calendar. And she got a bum knee and she's walking?
She's walking on the freeway with a bum knee? Like, how bad was it? Was it a necessary surgery?
I mean, it sounds like it if you're getting knee replacement. She's
yeah,
like, I play softballs on Tuesdays. I need to be able to get them grounders.
Like, how intense are we talking? You know, how much do you need that knee? Because if you're walking on the freeway, you got good knees. Weird. If you left your house without your car, you got good knees.
Maybe she had a specific gait, and that's how we know it was her.
Oh.
She's hobbling.
Yeah.
So, her family said that she had no known reason to suddenly disappear. As of today, Melissa Casias has never been located.
That's fucking crazy.
Investigators believe she may have entered a vehicle voluntarily, but they've never publicly identified the driver or why they feel that way.
But the factory reset phones, that feels like something that she did to disappear herself.
Right.
Or someone else. But then if you find her walking around and stuff like that seems like she left the house on her own. She did that on her own. She went with a backpack on her own. She planned.
To me, it sounds like somebody told her, like, hey, this is what you got to do. You got to get the fuck out. If you want to keep your family safe and all that shit, you got to get the fuck out. That would be the only reason I would ever leave under those circumstances, right?
Right.
If I believed somebody's threat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mark and Sierra have suggested that she may have left due to stress, saying that sometimes she kept things bottled up. However, other members of Melissa's extended family have publicly questioned whether something more may have happened.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't write all this down, but per my usual, I'm going to go off the cuff here and say that there are some rifts within the family between Sierra and Mark and, like, Melissa's extended family, which it wasn't clear who her extended family was, but it sounded like maybe her brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, mom, dad kind of thing. Like,
did they not like Mark?
Well, it was like they felt like one or the other. I don't remember if it was like Sarah and Mark or if it was the extended family felt like they were being purposefully excluded from searching for her or having any kind of information. Like something seemed fishy. So there's a little rift in the family, but it's not clear what that rift is, why it's there, if it existed before or what. Because, you know, stress can make families say some stupid shit. So,
sure. But some people weren't happy about the situation.
Is that layer of like, you know, like, it sounds like, by all accounts, her and Sierra were very close. So then as a mom, I would assume the only way you could get me to do that, like I said, was under a threat that I believed. Or if you really were in that much stress, I can't imagine. I was laughing when I wrote it, though, because I'm like, of course, you fucking had her go to the bank. Like, can you cash this check? Girl, you gonna work, you gotta cash your own check. I'm not doing that. And you want me to go get you 2 hours away? Like, everybody just takes all this advantage of me.
Yeah, you're the mom constantly.
Right. It's like, of course she fucking ran away. She needs a break. But I don't know. That's fucking weird to me.
Yeah.
But I also don't know these people, right?
Usually that break, though, is like an hour or so. And you're like, hey, I got high in the car. I'm fine now.
I have the will to live.
Yeah. Like, and we're back. I got ice cream or whatever, my favorite restaurant. I got my comfort food, and now I'm back. And I wasn't walking on the freeway because that's not how I de-stress.
No. But, like, the factory reset. Or maybe somebody got her, in fact, and said, you got to go this way and do these things and act like everything's normal. Like, you know, like that story from fucking, I don't remember where, Illinois or whatever, where the lady was like abducted and brought to the bank. And she tried to act like everything was cool and her whole fucking family
and her family was tied
down.
Up in the house.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. And he's like, you need to walk because you have to leave your car here.
Maybe she saw something she wasn't supposed to see and they're taking care of it. So, for now, Melissa's case remains open.
They don't have a ring camera or anything?
That's what I'm like. What the fuck are these people doing?
What
like,
year
what do we see? It's 2025.
The big 2025. You don't have a fucking camera, or your across the street neighbor doesn't have a camera.
We can't follow her. I mean, we can follow. We did follow her. We've got video footage of her, which I'm guessing there's got to be footage of her climbing into a vehicle.
Yeah,
but like, it's the most random thing. Unless it's like they're literally in the middle of nowhere and everything's empty around here, and she's not there, so she had to have get in a car.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know. So for now, like I said, it's an unresolved missing persons investigation.
Put a pin in it.
Hate it.
Got a lot of questions.
So at this point, we have 4 people. 2 at JPL and 2 at Los Alamos, right? So our next case involves a scientist who is not missing.
Okay.
But murdered.
Oh, no. Like legit murdered?
Like
not just dead in their home?
Like legit murdered.
Uh-oh.
Okay? This guy's name was Nuno Loureiro. Loureiro.
I believe it's pronounced Ferrero Rocher.
No, Nuno Loureiro.
Okay.
So Nuno was a Portuguese plasma physicist who worked as a professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
MIT?
MIT.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, you have. So he worked at MIT.
A professor?
A professor
Oh.
in plasma physics.
Who fucking kills a professor? Someone who got a bad grade.
Rude-ass people, I suppose. This guy, by 2024, he had become the director of the MIT Plasma Science and Fusion Center, which again is funded by people in the likes of Epstein. But okay.
Okay. But I digress.
He was born in 1977 in Viseu, Portugal. I'm probably saying that wrong.
All right.
Which is a city in the central region of the country. Not much is publicly documented about his early childhood, but his academic career is well established. He eventually earned his doctorate in physics in 2005. Mm-hmm. So when we were out fucking
staying out Smirnoff Ices.
Yeah, 2 a.m. getting drunk at parks. This guy was just getting his doctorate in physics.
No big deal. I think about that a lot. Oh, you're a doctor. Nice.
Yeah, right?
Medical school. Wow.
Wow. And he specialized in plasma, all right?
Okay.
His doctoral research focused on how superheated electrically charged gases, known as plasma, interact with magnetic fields, particularly how those magnetic fields can twist, break apart, and reconnect. Okay? So evidently, if you apply some magnets to plasma, you can do some shit with it, right?
Okay.
And he was
the
like,
aliens figured that out. Yeah.
And he's like, I'm a fucking human who gets this alien technology. That's so sick, right?
Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool.
Which I would argue is also probably on the brink of some way to generate free energy, but I digress.
I mean, maybe.
Magnets and plasma.
You can use it for good. Yeah, sure.
So when those magnetic fields reconnect, they can release massive bursts of energy, which is a phenomenon scientists believe is responsible for events like solar flares and other energetic activity in space.
Okay, love that.
In simpler terms, Nuno's research helps scientists understand how energy moves through plasma, which is the most common state of matter in the universe, which I find very interesting.
That we know nothing fucking about it.
Yeah, and we're like, you know what the most common state in the universe is? Plasma.
Oh, cool.
Sick. I would love to know more.
What? I can't even explain it.
Like the most common state.
Yeah. All right.
So this type of research is critical for understanding space weather, which can affect satellites, spacecraft, and communication systems on Earth, right? Like if the
solar flares and all of our fucking internet's down for a day or whatever.
Blast all our shit. He's the scientist who understands it all and understands how it was impacted and all that shit.
Okay.
It's also important for the development of fusion energy, which scientists hope could one day provide an extremely powerful and clean energy source, which is what I was saying.
Yeah.
So beyond energy research, plasma physics also plays a role in understanding high-energy lasers, advanced propulsion systems, and certain defense technologies. Again, all in the same ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
They're all doing science that's related to fucking national defense eventually. Yeah. Because of the nature of his work, Nuno held high-level security clearance connected to some of the research environments that he worked in, right? Mm-hmm. By 2005, he was living with his wife and 2 daughters in Brookline, Massachusetts, which is outside of Boston.
Okay.
By all accounts, he was extremely successful in his field and well-respected by colleagues. Then on the evening of December 15th, 2025, something happened that would completely change the course of his family's life, obviously. Mm-hmm. That evening, Nuno and his wife were in the kitchen preparing for dinner while their 2 daughters played in the living room playing cards. And around 8:30 p.m., the family heard the doorbell ring.
Mm-hmm. What year is this?
2025,
okay.
Like December 2025. Okay. So barely a year and some change ago. Nuno's 12-year-old daughter got up.
It's not even a year. 2025.
You're right.
December?
No, a couple months ago.
Yeah, I was like, it's just
Listen,
happened.
I don't work anymore, so
yeah, the days blend together.
It was just Easter. It was a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So it just happened.
Yeah.
Yes, it just happened.
Okay.
So this shit just went down, and it's 8:30 at night. They hear a doorbell, and the 12-year-old daughter gets up to go check the door to see who's there. The building they lived in, it was an apartment they described, but it sounds like one of them fancy apartments. Like it has a lobby where like you go.
Like a doorman and stuff.
Right, but it also sounds like when they opened the door, they were in the lobby. Like you didn't have to go far to be there, but also like apartment, I think of like like a normal
like a
person
building
apartment.
And shit.
Yeah.
Like yours has a balcony, it overlooks the pool.
Yeah, exactly. But these sound like, I mean, he was a fucking professor specializing in fucking plasma.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he got paid very well, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe think like upscale New York type of apartment, but like in Boston.
Okay. A little brickstone thing.
You know that place better than me if there's high rises and shit like that. I don't
know. But everything's indoors, I would imagine. Like,
right.
Yeah.
And actually the image kind of looked like everything that you would see, like stoop boys sitting on a stoop.
Yeah.
There's a stoop to get inside
they
of
all
the
have
apartment building.
Stoops. Yeah.
Okay. So just to kind of paint the picture. So 12-year-old daughter goes to the door and there's somebody in the lobby waiting, right? And the daughter looks and she sees a man standing there holding what appeared to be a package. And I think
flowers.
I think he had like a vest on. Like it looked like he was Amazon or something delivering a package.
Yeah.
So Nuno told his daughter to go back inside and then he went to the door himself like, let me check it. It's 8:30 at night. You don't even need to get in the door.
Yeah,
right?
100%. My kids do that now. And I'm like, get the fuck away from the door.
Dude, I was taking a shit when somebody was at the door and like I had to shit. Okay. It was an emergency.
And we're not getting up. That door is going to go unanswered.
No. And I have the window right there. I'll just yell to you, like, go away.
Yeah.
Right. And there was somebody at the door and I looked at the ring and it was just like, fucking realtor trying to buy my house or some shit. And my kid came running in and I was like, thank fuck he didn't answer the door.
Yeah.
Like I always say don't answer it, but I never know. My kids are wild cards, you know?
Guaranteed my kids would. But they have trouble with the locks, thank God.
Someday, though.
But they'd pop their head in the window like, hi.
Oh, my kid was. And I think that's eventually what made the guy go away. But anyway, and my kid comes in, there's somebody at the door. I'm like, I know, just let him go away. And he could probably hear the whole conversation. Like, I'm actively in the middle of a turd right now. You got to go.
You're going to hear a flush.
I'm not getting the door.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Nuno walks out there, sends his daughter in, and moments later, the daughter and the family hears 3 to 4 gunshots.
Uh-oh.
She runs back towards the entryway and finds her father laying on the ground.
Oh, my God.
As she looks up, she saw the person who looked to be a delivery person leaving the building and getting into a car that was parked right outside, and then they drove away.
Oh, no.
Emergency responders arrived, and they transported Nuno to the hospital. He had been shot in the chest, the abdomen, and both legs.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Why? Jesus Christ.
Dude, I don't fucking know.
That's unnecessary as fuck. The legs, too? Fuck you.
I know, right? Super unnecessary. Despite efforts to save him, he died the following morning from his injuries.
Oh, my God.
Investigators later recovered 6 spent shell casings in the lobby area where the shooting occurred.
Uh-huh.
Fortunately, a neighbor had a Ring security camera that captured footage of the suspect and the vehicle that he used to escape.
Mm-hmm.
When investigators reviewed additional surveillance footage from the surrounding neighborhood, they discovered something even more unsettling, and that was that the suspect had been driving around the neighborhood for hours before the shooting, repeatedly circling the block as if he were watching the building and waiting for the right moment. Like he was casing out the joint. You know?
Or hyping himself up, getting the guts to go do it.
Right? So police were eventually able to identify the shooter. His name was Claudio Manuel Neves Valiente, and he was a 48-year-old Portuguese national.
Oh, interesting.
Who was legally residing in the United States. And if you'll remember, Nuno was from Portugal.
Yeah, that's why. That's interesting. That's a coincidence.
That's interesting.
There's not that many people from Portugal, right?
Like, I don't know.
That would be in the same place at the
maybe
same time.
Boston's like a hub? I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
So at the time of the attack, Claudio was actively attending Brown University studying physics. Investigators soon discover something even more shocking because just 3 days earlier, on December 13th, 2025, Claudio had entered an auditorium in the physics department at Brown University and opened fire.
What?
This was the point in my investigation when I was like, how the fuck did I not know that there was a Brown University shooting? And because I don't know anything about Brown University, but just a university shooting in general.
Well, it's a big one too, isn't it? Like
I would think.
That's a big
like
name,
a well-known one.
Yeah.
Well, and then if this is just a couple months ago, you have to consider how fucking muddied our media is right now because every day is something insane.
Right. Also, a school shooting. Which one? The one yesterday
Honestly,
or the one a couple weeks ago?
Yeah. Was this at the synagogue or was it,
This is in America, right?
And I think that's why this one because I remember hearing about the Brown University shooting, but it kind of, just as quickly as we heard about it, it swept away like the rest of everything else, right?
Pushed back to like, oh yeah, that happened, but like maybe it was a while ago.
Exactly. So he opened fire in an auditorium on Brown University 3 days prior to killing Nuno.
How did he not get arrested from that?
I guess they couldn't fucking find him because in that attack, 2 people were killed and 9 others were injured.
Oh my God.
And the 2 people that were killed were like 18 and 19. Like they were young students going to fucking college.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And it's so sad because you can read things online of people who were in there. Anyway, so
we're fucking up our society.
We really are. So after the shooting at Brown University, Claudio fled and went on the run.
How old is Claudio? Is he like a student? Is he like 18,
48.
19, 20? 48? Jesus, fuck.
Yeah. He's
what are you doing shooting children?
And he was like a student at Brown University. And
okay,
he was really a good, like he was smart. He was intelligent.
Not everything is for everybody.
What the fuck? What the fuck? So while he was evading authorities because of that whole shooting, he traveled north and ultimately targeted Nuno at his home for whatever reason. It's still, I mean, spoiler alert, it's not really clear why he targeted Nuno. Investigators later learned that during the days he was on the run, Claudio had been using a Google phone with an application that prevented authorities from pinging his location in real time. He was like a fucking super agent spy out here, okay? He was also using a European SIM card, so it made it even more difficult for law enforcement to track him using basic technology, okay, that we rely on today, evidently, in tracking.
Interesting.
The following day, police located Claudio the following day after Nuno's attack. So this is like 4 days after his original attack began, right?
After the Brown shooting.
Exactly. So they locate Claudio, and he was hiding in a storage unit in New Hampshire.
What the fuck?
In just like one of those like store
all
you all.
Climate-controlled one? It's December in New Hampshire. It's probably fucking cold.
I don't know. But when officers enter the unit, they discovered that he had died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head.
Oh, no. What the fuck? I was literally just thinking if I was one of Nuno's daughters, I would visit him in jail every day and be like, why'd you do it? You know?
Right, like we need more answers. Like that was really fucking random.
What the fuck? What's that about?
Inside the storage unit, they found 2 firearms, evidence connected to the Brown University shooting. I don't know what that evidence is, but they were like, this is our university guy.
It's probably the gun and then also his face.
Maybe. And a satchel whose contents have
A satchel?
A satchel whose contents have never been publicly disclosed.
It's just some doubloons in there.
But I think there might have been incriminating evidence in the satchel too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, who even has a satchel?
Fucking Indiana Jones, all right, bitch.
Satchel now. Let me get my satchel.
It's not
just
a purse.
A man purse. It's a crossbody fucking fanny pack.
Yes, he had one of those. Which I imagine as a 40-something-year-old student at Brown University, that's what I would use for a backpack.
Yeah, that's what everybody probably has, right?
So investigators also recovered video recordings that Claudio had left behind, okay?
Uh-oh.
In those videos, he explained that he had been planning the attack on Brown University for 6 semesters.
What the fuck?
He said that when he entered the auditorium, he was disappointed to see that the room, I'm paraphrasing, okay? Because I read the transcripts and it's in Portuguese and translated to English, so maybe that's it. But it also just kind of sounds like somebody rambling who turned on the video and they're like, that's a fucking crazy 8 hours I just had there. Let me just tell you all my reasons without being super specific and keeping it super vague so that you really don't get any answers.
Yeah.
So he said that when he entered the auditorium, he was disappointed to see that the room was mostly empty because he had intended to kill many more people than what he had only killed 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the recordings, he defended his actions.
You're going to plan this shit for 6 months, 6 semesters, so I don't know, 2.5 years?
Yeah, and not have a good day to pick. Like, I think it was like a finals day or something, so you would think everybody would be there, but I think the timing of it was wrong. In fact, in his
But you didn't
rambling,
plan that in your 6 semesters?
In his rambling, okay.
You didn't go in on a separate Tuesday and you're like, yep, this class is full. Coming back next Tuesday.
I mean, thank God he didn't.
No.
Or whatever.
But like you say, he's smart.
And in the video, the way he describes this, like, I read it very nicely. But the way that I came about him being like, all right, anyway, I was disappointed that not so many people were there was because he kept referencing that he has an injury to his eye, which he said like a shell casing or something, which I don't know if he got fucking shot in the eye. I don't know if that happened with Nuno. I don't know if that happened at the university.
It could come out of the top. Maybe I've had them go in my shirt before. They're real hot, so it could hit you in the eye.
Maybe a shell casing popped him in the eye. But, I mean, and he kept being like, that's the only thing I regret about this whole fucking killing spree I just went on.
Was the part where I got hurt?
Yeah, where my eye fucking hurts. Exactly. And then
that's why he killed himself.
And he was like referencing like accounts that have been, he obviously was following it in the news.
Yeah.
And he was like, somebody said that I shouted something. And the only thing I can think of is when I got in the auditorium, I realized there wasn't that many people there. So I might have yelled like, fuck or something like that. But it was more because like I was bummed that there wasn't that many people there. So I wrapped it up in a pretty bow, but this psycho says it really weird. Like, okay.
Well, I didn't
He's
yell.
disappointed.
I might have been upset, but like, listen, you would have been too.
I think they were phrasing it like he was startled. And he was like clarifying, I wasn't startled. I was pissed. Like, I saw what I didn't like. Whatever. Anyway.
You're clarifying the wrong fucking thing.
So psycho. But he intended to kill many more people. In the recordings, he defended his actions, but he never explains a motive. He also referenced Nuno, but indirectly. He kind of says it like the other thing that I did. But like, so there's no, in his little, if we want to call this a manifesto, rambling, whatever, it doesn't give you any kind of motives. It's not clear why. He just says he was planning it. He did it. It didn't go how he expected. And that other thing happened because he had to do it. And now that it's done, his time was coming anyway. And he mentions how he still had a little bit of money and he could live a pretty good life in Portugal for a few more years, but it's time. Like referencing that he's going to off himself, I guess. But like you wouldn't know that in the context of the video.
I don't have to, but like I'm gonna because it's my choice.
What?
That's weird.
It sounds to me like you're either batshit crazy.
Well, probably.
Or like, why do you feel you have to off yourself? Like, are you involved in some shit? Like, what is going on?
Kind of sounds like a psychosis or something.
Right. Like, it's fucking weird. Yeah, to go into an auditorium and shoot it up. Very unplanned, very unorganized.
Yeah.
And then to go to a storage unit, which he's had for years.
How do they know he planned it for 6 semesters? Like, that's like 3 years.
He said that in the video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
But also,
like, fail one class with this guy.
So, investigators later discover that Claudio and Nuno had attended the same engineering school in Portugal at the same time earlier in their lives. Former classmates who knew both the men speculated that Claudio may have harbored resentment or jealousy towards Nuno's success, though investigators have never officially confirmed that as a motive. But friends who knew them both said, like, basically Claudio was an asshole. Like, he was really smart, but he was an asshole, and he had a chip on his shoulder. And Nuno would represent everything that he could potentially be.
Yeah.
But never, because his little chip on his shoulder fucked him up.
I could see. Yeah, I could see that.
So that could be, but like investigators are not being like, yeah, that's a clear motive. Teachers and former classmates describe Claudio as extremely intelligent and often at the top of his class, but someone who had a strong ego and frequent conflicts with peers, so he was known to argue with his peers all the time. Ultimately, investigators concluded that Nuno's killing was carried out by Claudio while he was already on the run after the Brown University shooting. So they're like, I don't know, wrap it up in his crazy rant, and he got Nuno.
Yeah, like this is just a crazy guy who did a crazy thing. Okay, that's... Okay, it's suspicious, but I could put it in a separate category from the missing scientists.
Right.
Because it could just be
it is interesting that he would be like the plasma specialist in any kind of technology, if that is where we are going in terms of some sort of free or lesser damaging energy, right? Like he would be the top guy that you would go to. But also could be totally unrelated. Like you're saying, maybe Claudio's just crazy and he has an ego and that's why he wanted to kill everybody.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that it happens around the same time as everybody else is going off and missing or whatever.
Yeah.
And just to keep the conspiratorial side alive, there have been instances where like people are like convinced, like you already don't have a will to live. I'll give you money for your family. You go do this thing for me. Figure out what you got to do. If you get caught, you get caught. If you off yourself, you're off yourself. But your family will get the money and your family will be cared for. That's not stated anywhere in any of this. I'm just saying.
That is
There's multiple ways to skin a cat. He could be fucking crazy. But with the fact that, like, you know, the Butler shooting of the attempted assassination of Trump, we were lied to. Allegedly, maybe, possibly. There's at least questions. over the shooter there. The Charlie Kirk, we have questions. Like, we've been lied to, or at least information has been excluded from us.
Yeah, or we've been fed this very simple answer that doesn't seem to quite fit.
Right. Yeah. And you could argue that this is crazy and random, and we do have all the information. But again, I'm just saying there's a lot of weird unanswered things that doesn't make sense. Like, when there's not a clear motive in the person tied, which you could argue this is a clear motive. They knew each other and he had an ego and he represents this, that, and the other. But like the fact that investigators aren't stating that is like...
Well, he's from...
Portuguese.
Nuno's from MIT and he went to Brown. So it's not even like they should have been in the same circle or the same like...
And they weren't friends. They weren't in touch. He
wasn't
just
his professor.
Weird.
He could have carried this chip on his shoulder from Portugal and been like, I remember that fucking guy. And he could have been following him in the newspaper and been like, oh, this guy that I always look up to. You know, like the villain origin story, you know?
Right. Maybe.
But also...
Weird.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Like, it's just weird. Why would you pick him? He seems so unrelated to you.
And they weren't, like, in contact or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than knowing them in your childhood. Like, that's just strange.
I wonder if, like... See, this is where I just don't have enough time in life. Because then when I talk to you, I have so many questions. Like, I wonder if Nuno was published for something groundbreaking recently.
And he could have been. Like,
and
he
got
could have
put
been
on
in the
radar.
newspapers. And then he gets back into Claudio's life. And he's like, watching from the underground. Like, I always fucking hated that guy.
Maybe. Or maybe he was told to off him or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
Who knows? It's just weird, right?
We don't know.
But, so keep that in mind. Okay. MIT, right?
In mind.
So now we're going to jump fields of science a little bit to biomedical and chemobiology research areas.
Chemobiology.
Okay? So another high-level scientist goes missing under unclear circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, as I go through these... I am not going to have some pretty little bow to tie up at the end of this and be like, and then they're all connected, Like, some of these could be totally unrelated, but they still fall in the area, so I want to share with you all of the details, and you guys can decide what you think, okay?
Yeah.
Because even in my own theory, I'm obviously going to share with you my conspiratorial side of what I kind of suspect maybe. I can't fit every person into that theory.
Right, yeah.
So there could be just some random ancillary people. We don't know.
Sure.
So Jason Thomas, he was approximately...
JTT,
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. He was approximately 45 years old in 2005, and he worked as an assistant director.
What are all these people doing in 2005?
Girl, they're all after Trump fucking made an administration, okay, of all these leaders in all these places, is all I'm saying.
2005?
2025.
Oh, okay. You said 2005.
Oh, my bad.
That's why I was
he's
like,
45
why?
years old
graduating year.
in 2020. I was like, I know, they're all together, and it's right after this. That's so weird. Which could be unrelated.
Yeah.
But it is a talking point.
Yeah.
So Jason Thomas was 45 years old in 2025.
Okay.
So, like, just last year.
Yeah.
And he worked as an assistant director at the Novartis Institute for Biomedical Research, which we all know. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, we do?
His work specialized in chemical biology and chemoproteomics. I don't even know what that is. I should have looked that up.
Okay.
Probably just did a terrible job at pronouncing it. But he focused on understanding how proteins interact and how those interactions can be used in drug development.
Okay.
So over the course of his career, Jason accumulated thousands of scientific citations, marking him as a highly influential researcher in his field. By all accounts, he was deeply embedded in the world of advanced biomedical research and pharmaceutical innovation. In the late 2025s, Jason experienced a major personal tragedy when his mother was placed on hospice care.
Oh.
He stayed by her side as she passed away, and only a few hours later, his father also died suddenly of a heart attack while they were fucking planning his mom's funeral. That's so sad.
That's really sad. He died of a broken heart.
Yeah. This resulted in Jason losing both his parents in an extremely short period of time, and something that deeply affected him emotionally. That is well documented.
I'll bet. Yeah. Okay. Fair.
His wife later stated that on December 12th, 2025, so again, just a few months ago, The couple attended their first social gathering since those deaths.
Okay. Making their public appearance again.
Right. She described Jason as being unusually quiet that night, but otherwise nothing seemed out of place.
Okay.
When they returned home, she later noticed Jason had briefly gone outside while taking care of their 4 dogs. They had a pack of dogs, okay?
Okay.
At one point, she couldn't find Jason, and so she was like looking around the house for him, and then she heard the sound of their mailbox outside being shut or opened or whatever, and she looked out front and she saw Jason standing next to the mailbox, like he was the one who had opened or shut it or whatever fucking sound she had heard.
Okay.
I guess they made like eye contact, but no words were exchanged. In that eye contact, the wife understood that Jason was probably going to go for a walk. Like, she didn't think much of it. I guess he'd go for walks often around the block to clear his mind or whatever. But she says she hears him at the mailbox. They make eye contact. And she thought, oh, he must be going for a walk. Whatever. Fine, right?
Not abnormal.
Not abnormal to her. Now, I'm like, what? That's crazy. It's nighttime. We got home from a party. I'm not going for a walk. I'm going to go get my jammies and get cozy. But okay, to each
different life, you know?
Yeah. So the couple's Ring doorbell camera recorded Jason leaving the property at approximately just before midnight.
Okay. God damn.
What the fuck are we doing taking midnight strolls?
He is 45 years old.
Patsy
Get in fucking bed.
Yeah. Walking after midnight, not on my watch.
No.
So after that point, Jason doesn't return home. His wife attempted to call him multiple times, but he didn't answer. She eventually falls asleep, assuming that he's just still out walking. But when she woke up around 1:30, so just like she didn't fall asleep long, she realizes that he hasn't returned home yet. Like all the lights and everything are on. And so she's starting to get concerned. So she searches the home and she discovered that Jason had left behind his wallet and his phone on the bathroom counter, which would not be like him, I guess, although you don't need your wallet for a walk.
No, but your phone probably.
Right. When she checked the mailbox, she found that he had left his Apple Watch inside of it.
What?
So
you can't track him or anything.
Concerned, she began searching the neighborhood. Like, she got in her car and started driving around, and then she contacted the police to file a missing persons report.
Yeah.
Investigators reviewed local security footage, and they were able to track Jason walking through the neighborhood through all the Ring cameras, right? He was seen crossing some railroad tracks in the neighborhood, after which he disappeared from all the cameras' views. So they just know a direction that he's going.
Okay.
Despite searches using cadaver dogs, scent tracking, all that shit, drones, everything, Jason was not found in the immediate area. I guess he kept a journal. And later, those journal entries were reviewed, and they showed obvious signs of grief and emotional distress over the loss of his parents, but there was no indication of a planned disappearance or any kind of external threat.
Okay.
Just that he was sad about his parents.
Yeah, that's normal.
Right. One note suggested that he had begun considering a career change due to work-related pressure. Like, the wife was like, he had talked about it, but I kind of chalked it up to, like, his grief and everything. Like, he wasn't actively looking for any jobs. He was just kind of like, I might change careers.
Yeah, just a little frustrated with where he was at for whatever reason.
Right, and it wasn't, like, any kind of concrete decision. The only area not fully searchable at the time and where he went missing was Lake Quanapawit. I'm probably butchering that also, which was a lake that was nearby Jason's house that he would go walk the dogs on around the lake often.
Okay.
So, like,
what state are we in?
Did I not tell you? Okay, it's in Wakefield, Massachusetts.
Okay.
So we're still in Massachusetts.
Okay. Is that near Boston? Or is it west?
Girl, I don't know.
Don't matter. Okay.
I don't know where that shit's at. Didn't look it up.
Yeah.
But we've kind of got some little hubs here, like California, New Mexico, Boston. All right, so this lake is in Massachusetts, in case anybody was wondering.
I was. No longer.
And Jason would walk his dogs around there often, right? But they couldn't search it at the time because parts of the lake were frozen due to the weather conditions. It's fucking December, all right?
Yeah, makes sense.
On March 17th, 2026, so like just a month ago.
Okay.
Which is only a few months after Jason's disappearance, search teams recover what appeared to be a body in that lake.
Uh-oh.
Clothing recovered at the scene matched what Jason was wearing the night that he disappeared. So all accounts are like, we're pretty sure it's him. But no official confirmation has been publicly released at the time that I was doing research. I haven't checked today, but like within the last week or so, there's been nothing released confirming that it's him. There's all these reports saying it's believed to be him, but there's been nothing that confirms that it's him.
Okay.
But I will say that I was doing my extra search and an obituary was published on April 6, 2026 for Jason Thomas. So I'm going to go ahead and strongly suggest that the identity was probably confirmed as him.
Yeah.
And then the family published an obituary and it just hasn't made it to the press yet.
Okay, that would make sense.
The circumstances surrounding his death remain unclear in public reporting, and while no confirmed foul play has been established, the case remains part of this whole broader pattern of, like, unresolved disappearances. Like,
it's just weird.
It seems pretty unlikely that he would commit suicide by drowning in a frozen lake just because his parents were dead. Like,
right.
You can be sad and still understand that that's a part of life.
But you're 45 years old. You know your parents are going to die eventually. Like,
right.
Be happy that you got that much time with them because
right.
not everyone does.
Right. And by all other accounts, he was very happy, very go-lucky person, not, like, super depressed, not one to off himself. Like,
yeah.
Everybody's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, a frozen lake, winter, blah, 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 a drowning, that could very well all be an accident. Like, he slipped and, fell, couldn't get out, whatever.
Right.
It's shock, hypothermia, whatever. That could all be an accident. But the fact that he left his Apple Watch in the mailbox is really weird.
Like he did not want to be tracked.
That is strange. Unless he's, like, had gotten into a little argument with his wife and he's like, fuck you, bitch, I'm going to go for a walk.
She said he was normal, just maybe a little quieter, but it was his first outing since losing his parents, so that would be to be expected.
I mean, maybe he was upset that people didn't react the way that he wanted them to, or...
So he was like, I'll show them.
Yeah,
which is very strange.
That's very, that's a very depressive episode or whatever, Like, not normal.
No, yeah.
At least for most functioning adults who are smart people, they're going to be like, hey, my parents died, I'm very sad.
Right.
But, like...
Which I guess you could argue people who commit suicide all the time and you have no warning signs, so, like, maybe. But, like, somebody who's, like, a biochemist, you think they'd have, like, a quicker way, easier way to not. Like, I'm just going to get that medicine from work real quick and pop a couple of them in my cheek and see what happens.
Right. You're not just going to go drown in a lake. That sounds awful.
Like, I know pharmaceuticals pretty well. I probably know the best way to off myself most comfortably.
Yeah.
And maybe it is drowning in a frozen lake. I don't fucking know.
Right. He's like, out of all my options.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, though. Or what if he was to meet somebody and then... Okay, I don't want to get too far. I don't want to get too far into my conspiracy, but I feel like if I don't address it as we go, I'm for sure going to forget because I like to partake in extracurricular activities. So forgive me for ruining any kind of suspense. But, like, I could also see a world where, like, maybe I'm meeting with somebody and I don't want to tell anybody that I'm meeting with them, and I was told not to tell anybody.
And
I get
not to have anything that could track me, so you put your watch in the mailbox or whatever.
And you get there, and maybe the proposal they're offering you don't agree with, and you don't understand that it's either agree or die.
Mm-hmm.
And then they disagree, and before you can walk away, they get you. Right? Mm-hmm. Just saying. Just to throw out, that whole, like, beyond a reasonable doubt. I'm giving you some sort of reasonable doubt for each one. Of like, it's possible, and we don't have any information on that.
Well, it's sketchy to leave your stuff behind. So, like you're saying, it could be.
And the guy kept a journal and wasn't suicidal, or not, like, giving hints of it anywhere.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, we have, like, substantial evidence, I would say, that at least doesn't prove suicide.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
That's just a terrible way to fucking try to kill yourself, too. But I wonder what the obituary is. Like, does he have a head wound? Did he, like, slip and fall?
Oh, they don't say anything in the obituary. It just says survived by...
Well, not obituary, I guess autopsy.
Oh, yeah, I know, but we don't have any of that.
Yeah.
We don't even have confirmation that it was him in the lake yet. Like, we're that early.
Very suspicious. Did he have kids?
No, they had lots of dogs, though. And those dogs were their lives. And so was his wife. His wife was like, this is not like him. Like, he was such a cool guy in terms of, like, wanting to live life for what you really want. Like, his wife used to be in some very big intellectual field or whatever. And he helped her leave that field to go follow her dream, which I think was working with dogs or animals of some sort. And he helped facilitate that. So for him to bring up his career, she was, like, all in support for it, but also said he didn't sound that serious. Like,
Like, he talked about it. He was going to dabble. But, like, that's also future plans. So, changing plans, not necessarily...
Right. Like, he had another idea
job, I want to quit.
Death.
It's like... I thought about this.
Yeah, exactly. So now we have 2 from JPL, 2 from Los Alamos, and 2 from the Boston area. Okay. And they're all within this 2-year period. Really, a couple months, honestly. But so now we're going to jump to the next person, who is Carl Grillmair. who was born in 1959 in Calgary, Canada, and developed an early interest in astronomy that would eventually shape his entire academic path. He earned his bachelor's degree in astrophysics from the University of Calgary in 1983, followed by a master's degree in 86, and he later completed his PhD in 93 at the Australian National University. It's a very intelligent man, okay?
Mm-hmm.
After completing his education, Carl began working in 1997 at the NASA-affiliated Infrared Processing and Analysis Center. They call it IPAC.
Okay.
At IPAC, he spent decades contributing to infrared astronomy, space observation, and large-scale astronomical data analysis projects.
Okay.
One of the most well-known contributions was the identification of a faint stellar streams, which are remnants of smaller galaxies that have been torn apart and absorbed into the Milky Way.
Ooh, that's fun.
This work to help scientists better understand how our galaxy formed and evolved over billions of years.
Mm-hmm.
In 2007, Carl was involved in a major advancement in the detection of molecular signatures in exoplanet atmospheres.
Aliens?
Yes, exactly. The research contributed to the broader effort of identifying planets outside of our solar system that may have conditions suitable for life. So similar to like what...
I don't remember any of their names.
I know. I'm like, Frank, was it Frank? Frank did satellite stuff and moon shit, right? Frank did the moon shit to be able to tell if there's water on moon.
The different materials that the things were made out of.
So it sounds like they were kind of using the same technology to determine the same things, right?
Okay, sure.
And Carl was mainly responsible for creating that technology to be able to identify that stuff. Along with Frank, I guess. I don't know. And that shit, a lot of things I read about Frank, again, I try to keep a lot of the rocket science shit out of it because I was like, what? I don't get it. And then I'm like, anyway, they shoot a beam from a satellite and they measure how long it takes. But that was infrared. And this is literally NASA's infrared
program.
Specialized program. Yeah. Okay. So Carl works there, right?
Okay. Great name.
Great name, Carl. So anyway, he can determine if there's life on other planets. In more recent years, Carl remained active in research and collaboration with no public reported controversies, threats, disruptions of his perks. There's nothing suspicious. He was just like an old guy who was like, anyway,
just trugging along.
Still doing my shit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. On February 16th, 2026, so this year, just February, a month ago.
Okay.
2 months ago? A month and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
Carl was found shot on the porch of his home in Llano, California.
Uh-oh.
If that's how you say it.
Llano?
Llano?
I don't know. I don't know.
Nobody fucking knows. The shooting was reported at approximately 6:10 a.m. When emergency responders arrived, Carl had already died from a single gunshot wound to the torso. It's weird that they don't tell you where, what, or anything. They're just like, the torso. Same with Nuno. They were like, got shot in the chest.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
and
guessing.
Both legs. Fucking crazy.
Yeah. What?
Trying
and
to
there
make
were
him not
6
walk.
spent shells?
That's
That's
and there were
crazy.
only 4
Wounds?
Maybe twice was in the chest. I don't know. You know?
I don't either. Yeah. Shoot the same hole twice.
Yeah.
Hello.
But also... the torso? Yeah, that makes me think of like belly, you know?
But it also just makes me think that like they are withholding as much information as possible, that they're given enough for the public to be satiated, but like what are the details? Release the report. Like maybe that'll tell us more. Maybe it won't.
But
or maybe it would.
Is like not suicide, you know?
No. I wouldn't think so anyway. But anyway, what do I know? So investigators initially explored whether the shooting may have been connected to a nearby carjacking that had occurred around the same time. The suspect...
6:15 in the morning?
6:15 in the morning, there's carjacks happening and people getting shot. And also, I note this later, but just so you know for context now, homie Carl lives in the middle of fucking nowhere out in the desert in California. Intentionally, because he's a homie that likes looking at stars.
Yeah.
He like built telescopes for fun.
Doing the whole...
on the weekends.
Light pollution thing. 100%. He's out there in the desert. Okay.
That's the reason he lived out there.
So a random carjacking...
in the middle of nowhere.
Somewhere far away. They're thinking like a stray bullet would have hit him.
But they also reference a neighborhood, but like the screenshot of his like area is vast. So I'm assuming your neighborhood is like, we just also happen to have more homes a couple miles away.
Yeah.
You know, like in the middle of the desert.
Look, we're building here.
Yeah, exactly. So in that carjacking that happened that morning, the suspect in that incident lived roughly 2 miles from Carl's property, and he had a known history of trespassing on Carl's land, including prior incidents where he showed up with a rifle. So we have suspect number 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Authorities also noted that Carl had previously contacted law enforcement after break-ins and suspicious activity around his property.
Oh my God, I hate that.
I guess his neighbor got broken into or something, and so Carl called the cops, and they came and arrested that guy for breaking into the neighbor's house.
It's like the local crackhead.
Maybe. And then maybe Carl's got, like, a target on him because he called the cops on him previously.
Yeah, maybe. Right? Or maybe it's just, like, a couple people who actually have money out in the desert next to a couple people who don't have money out in the desert.
And they're like, I'm going to get your shit and get that copper out of that fucking telescope.
Out of your shed or whatever. Yeah, out of your fucking Hubble telescope that you built in your backyard. I'm going to just see what else you got in your shed or in your back or whatever.
Maybe.
Because, listen, the desert has all different kinds of people.
It sure shit does, doesn't it?
And those communities aren't always that far apart.
They really are not.
It's just right there.
Yeah.
Don't go there. That's Jeff's house.
Yeah, you breathe too hard, you might catch meth in the air.
That's Jeff's Meths.
Jeff's Meths. The methiest meth on all the street. So, meth. Okay. So, given the rural...
There are bike tracks leading away.
There he went.
One without a wheel. Or without a tire.
Blah, 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 blah.
This is on rims.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, sorry.
So, given the rural and isolated nature of the home, any unauthorized presence on the property was considered especially alarming.
Yeah. Yeah. If I lived out in the middle of nowhere, you better believe I'm answering my door with a fucking gun.
Yeah.
You're not coming out here.
Yeah. I don't have any time to hear about my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Nope.
So, this guy that was robbing shit around the neighborhood or whatever.
The local crackhead.
And that was obviously in the carjacking. Like, they know he carjacked this car, all right? Yeah. That guy gets charged with both the carjacking and Carl's murder.
Okay, a bit of a stretch, but sure.
Which investigators describe as a likely random act of violence rather than a targeted attack. So they're like, hey, this guy in this carjacking just randomly killed Carl.
Methy Jeff, he's just a nuisance around town.
Methy's Jeff's real name was Freddie Snyder. You were close.
That's pretty close.
Freddie Snyder also had a history of criminal behavior of breaking and entering into homes, right? Like I said, he broke into that neighbor's home, and Carl called fucking...
Did they match the bullet? Like, you know? Like, is there evidence that he killed Carl?
I don't have that information for you because they ain't telling us shit about anything.
But they charged him with it. So, like, hopefully there's evidence. But it was also just a couple months ago. So we don't know. Yeah, Carl got shot in the chest. This guy has a history of showing up on his property. Methy Freddy. Fuck, man. And so they arrest him, right? Okay.
Now, the arraignment for that trial or whatever, I don't know, for his fucking crimes was scheduled for March 26th, 2026, but it was later postponed to April 29th, so maybe sometime this month we'll hear some shit about that. Maybe we'll get some more information.
Okay.
But at this time, the case is still unresolved in court, technically, right? Like, we're waiting for his arraignment. So, like, I don't know that evidence. I don't know. The only reason they think they're tying it to him is because the guy has a history and he was caught in a carjacking earlier. Mm-hmm. And
now, this also could be just a random thing. This guy lives in the desert. He tried to get away from everybody, but he accidentally moved into the trailer park next door. Like, you know, it could all just be coincidental. Maybe he is the grumpy old man. He's yelled at Methy Freddy a few times and whatever, and Freddy's got this thing against him now, or saw his nice car because he was a fucking scientist and all this bullshit. So maybe it's all just coincidence.
You know what else is weird? And I didn't write it. But I don't know why. Probably fucking deleted it when I was trying to pare this down. But his mom is the one who called him in for the carjacking. Like, she didn't know that there was a murder that also happened. And she called the cops on her son and was like, my son...
Freddie's mom?
Just carjacked me. Yeah, Freddie's mom.
Wait a minute. Yeah. He carjacked his own mother?
He carjacked his own mom. Which
is that really a carjacking or is that an aggressive borrowing?
Like, was she in the car and he flung her out like fucking GTA style?
Or did he stop over for fucking bacon in the morning and then he left and was like, anyway, got your keys.
It sounds like he might have lived with her because it was in the neighborhood. That's why they tied them together. They were like, oh, and then he stole his mom's car? And they only know about that because she called. Like, homie took my car.
You can't just call it a carjacking if you just stole your mom's car. Like, that is so much more
That's why I feel
intense.
like he pulled her out or something. Like, what?
Did she just get home from work, you know?
And it also gives me the Methy Freddy vibes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man, we don't want him taking my car. He's going to go sell it for junk and go buy drugs.
Take it straight to the pawn shop.
So she called immediately. And they were like, that's funny because somebody else got shot in the chest over here. They have to have more evidence, right?
They must.
I don't know. Unless it's a diversion. Fred, go steal shit from your mom. And he's like, God damn it. I was just literally doing something. Like, I wasn't trying to kill anybody.
I don't know. It feels like stolen valor. That's not actually a carjacking.
You can't be carjacked by your own family member.
At least not by your son. Like,
I don't know, but I found that funny. And I did find it at the end of my research, and I was like, what the fuck?
That is weird.
All the same reactions you had. I was like, okay, I guess that makes it a little more believable that it was easier to understand it might be him because it was literally his own home, like 2 miles away.
Right.
And like if you timed it out, it would work perfectly. Was the fucking rifle in the car? Like, I don't know.
Got questions. Still got questions.
And mom ratted him out, son.
That's mom's car, man. She's got places to go. She's got shit to do. She has a job, okay? Right. She has to support Matthew Freddy.
Shit. So we might know more at the end of this month. I don't know right now.
Okay, that'll be exciting to watch.
So far, no motive has been established, and it's unclear why Carl was targeted and murdered.
Yeah.
Other than...
He was out on the porch.
If you just... Well, I mean, 6:10 in the morning sounds like maybe he got summoned out on the porch. Unless you're having your coffee out there or something.
He could be having his coffee out there.
I guess.
Or, no, he's not on his way to work.
In February in the morning?
In the desert, though.
That's cold.
In the desert.
It's cold in the morning
like
at
70.
Night. No, it gets like 50s.
Yeah, but not at 7 in the morning. The sun is up. I
guess you could put a jacket on.
Put a jacket.
6:10 in the morning. 6:10 in the morning. The sun just came up.
You're in the desert.
It's fucking cold in the desert.
At night.
It's basically
the
night.
The sun is up. It's probably like
not even
70,
yet.
60 degrees.
The sun just came up.
You know, for most people, 60 degrees is nice weather.
I'm aware. I'm just saying.
60 degrees is coffee on the porch weather.
I don't know the answer, but I would suspect, like, it's not a stretch that he would be out there having his coffee, but also it was kind of early.
Maybe he heard a carjacking happening down the fucking street.
No, his house is far.
Oh,
like, I mean, the satellite image of his home is like, it ain't nothing around him. You're not going to hear a carjack. Maybe you would.
Maybe he heard a car driving down his drive or something.
Maybe.
Maybe he was like, who the fuck's out here?
Who the fuck's this? Or maybe fucking Freddy just showed up on his porch and was like, hey, yo, Carl. Boom.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Was it a close gunshot, you know?
I don't know. It just says in his fucking torso, too. So I'm guessing your heart, your lungs, something important, right?
Gotta wait for this more information.
Yeah.
This is sketch. I don't
but there's no motive.
Yeah.
Unclear why he was targeted. So at this point, right?
If it was even Methy Freddy.
If it was even Methy Freddy, which the police seem to think it is. But you also know these little hodunk towns that never deal with homicides and they just glob onto the first thing.
Right.
Again, in my conspiratorial mind, I'm like, it's very easy to create a diversion. Like, hey, Freddy, go fucking do something. Go do this for me. And he jacks a car and that's a great little diversion. Bang, bang. I'll throw the gun back in your trunk.
And then all of a sudden he's blamed for more than just that. It could be.
I don't know.
Okay, go on.
They call that a patsy?
Patsy Cline.
Okay, so... this brings us to our last scientist in this whole mix of things, okay? This guy's name was William McCasland.
Okay.
Now, William, he was born in 1957, and he's the one getting all the publicity right now, okay? So he was born in 1957, and he grew up in a military Air Force family. His father was a lieutenant in the Air Force who died in a flying accident when William was young. I don't know anything about that, but that does suck. After his father's death, his mother later remarried another Air Force lieutenant, which further embedded him in the military environment at
a nurse?
Very young age, probably. William went on to attend the United States Air Force Academy, where he earned his bachelor's degree in astronautical engineering in 1979. Do you guys see the similarities here? It's all fucking space science.
Yeah.
We have the one pharmaceutical, biomedical, whatever, but that would be important to know how your body reacts in space, right?
Yeah.
And what chemicals could possibly help you survive space, in my opinion. But everybody else is like, I'm a fucking rocket scientist. Quite literally.
Yeah.
Okay, so he earns that degree in 79.
Okay.
He later attended MIT, where he completed a master's degree in aeronautical engineering. which was in estimation and controls, if you wanted to know. And that was in the 80s that he did that. And then he got his PhD in astronautical engineering in 85.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
He also attended Air War College at Maxwell Air Force Base in Alabama.
Air War?
Air War College.
I didn't know there was a college for that.
I didn't either. And he completed advanced training at Defense System Management College in Fort Belvoir, Virginia.
Belvoir.
I don't know if I'm saying that right either. But this guy fucking knew his air shit.
Yeah.
Like, he was the Air Force pilot.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
It's like, I could bob and weave in any war.
Any conditions.
He was the fucking maverick.
Yeah. With astronautical fucking training.
Yeah. In the early 2000s, he participated in the U.S.-Russia security program at Harvard University, again, another one funded by the elite, focused on defense collaboration and strategic research. Over time, William built a career deeply embedded in military aerospace development, advanced system engineering, and defense technology oversight.
Okay.
By the late 2000s, he was assigned to the Pentagon, where he became director of space acquisition. What are we acquiring space for?
Is he like a realtor for space?
He's like, anyway, if we're going to go ahead and acquire Saturn, we need to get them on our same system. Like, they need to talk English.
Just a little real.
They need to understand our mathematics.
He's going to own a little plot of land.
Yeah.
A little plot of space.
How are we going to merge with Saturn? This guy knows. Anyway.
Acquisition.
In 2009, he was promoted to Director of Special Programs and also served as Executive Secretary for the Special Access Program Oversight Committee. So the Oversight Committee that reviews all the special access programs, this guy fucking knew every super secret governmental bullshit, allegedly, okay? At least on paper.
Yeah.
In 2011, he transferred to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, where he assumed command of the Air Force Research Laboratory, a position that he held until 2013, which is the same laboratory that oversaw the funding for Monica and her super alloy, right?
Okay.
So that's how they're kind of connected. But we don't know that they knew each other personally or anything.
Well, I was going to say, was it at that time frame, though? From 11 to 13?
I don't know. But they're very intermeddled, labs, businesses.
Yeah.
They're all working together, like hopefully sharing information,
Yeah.
So, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, for those who may not know, was long associated in the public discussion with highly classified aerospace research programs like aliens, UAP, UFOs, and is allegedly the site where non-human biologics, aka alien bodies, and crashed spacecrafts are stored. So, like, when a UFO falls out of the sky,
it goes there.
Allegedly, according to the lore.
Okay.
And allegedly, that's where the Roswell crash happened. Like, not where it happened, but where the Roswell crash remains to this day is allegedly... The lore is it's at that base.
Right, Air Force Base.
It's very much known for like UFO activity,
okay.
UAP activity.
Okay.
And it's super secret. So after leaving that role, McCasland became Director of Technology at Applied Technology Associates in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is a defense contractor focused on space systems, directed energy, and missile defense technologies. Okay, so homie's still staying very active in all these worlds, right?
Yeah.
On February 27th, 2026, again, this year, few weeks ago.
Yeah.
William McCasland, who was 68 years old, went missing from his home in Albuquerque. That day, his wife, Susan, had left for a doctor's appointment, leaving William at home with a repairman who was working on the property. When Susan returned roughly an hour later, less than an hour later, William was no longer at home. His cell phone was found inside the house, powered off, and left behind, which was described as highly unusual for him.
Yeah.
Like...
powered off, not like battery dead.
Yeah.
But also not factory reset.
Not factory reset. And because the 911 phone call that she made just got released like a week ago. And she's like reiterating that he is a very high up military official, respected general. Like, he's very responsible. This is not like him.
Yeah.
So she's ringing the alarm bells, right?
Yeah. What about the repairman that she left him with?
Girl, what about the repairman? I don't know. Spoiler alert. They don't tell you. Spoiler alert. The public doesn't get to know shit about the repairman. I have questions.
I've got questions too.
Repairman, man. All right. Anyway. So Susan reported that he had recently been seeing a doctor for anxiety and short-term memory issues. She doesn't say like anything like, was there an illness that caused it? She just says He had anxiety and short-term memory issues, and he was seeing somebody.
Okay.
She also stated that he had expressed concerns about not wanting to continue living if his health continued to decline, but that she didn't think he would actually harm himself.
Well, yeah, and also, this just happened. Like, maybe cool it. Maybe wait a year, see if your memories continues to go down.
This sounds like one of those scenarios where you're talking to your spouse and you're like, I hope I never lose. It's like after you watch The Notebook and you're like, I hope I never lose my memories. And then one of you is always like, I hope it's me. I won't remember shit. That's me.
Yeah.
And he is like, I don't want to lose my memories. I'd rather die than be that, which was like my dad. And I'm like, well, you're dumb because you'll never know.
Right. Yeah, you would never know that you are.
I'm just going to surround myself with yes men that will lie to me. Okay. Okay. So, in her 911 calls, Susan emphasizes that it was completely out of character for him to leave without any belongings or communication.
Yeah.
Investigators noted that all of his personal items and vehicles remained in the residence, aka he didn't take shit anywhere. During the early stages of the investigation, Susan also confirmed that the same doctor that she had visited that day was the same doctor that he was seeing actively. So I think that fits in my little conspiratorial brain where I'm like, well, if somebody wanted the house to be empty, Susan, you got to go to an appointment to go see your doctor. And we're just going to send this repairman to come fix something. And repairman's going to make William disappear if we're into super secret squirrel shit, right? If we have to get her away.
But it doesn't have to be the same doctor. That doesn't make it any more likely in my brain.
See, to me, it makes it more likely because that's one less person you have to try to convince or anything. Like if the doctor's in on it, if it's all part of some, I don't know anything about.
Like he is the military doctor too.
Right,
and
that everybody that you would go see as part of the lab or as part of this community, that's who you're going to go see. And
also fucking TRICARE doctor.
Exactly. It's like you know about the military. Now, I don't know that. I'm just saying it's really weird that they were seeing the same doctor. Unless it was like a counselor, like a marriage counselor. And they were each going at separate times because anxiety and memory loss. Maybe that's tied to anxiety. Maybe something happened. I don't know. I'm just saying it's worth noting to me that that's kind of unique. That's different.
That they had the same doctor.
And that she went to the same doctor that day. I don't know. You know how and then the pineapple with the milk on the counter. And we're all like, that's weird. And everybody else is like, that's just a snack they enjoyed. And I'm like, but it was in her belly. You got the JonBenet reference. I don't know. It's just something weird that I want to mention. Like they saw the same doctor.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's strange.
It could be. It could be something. It could not. It could be.
So Susan was on the phone call, on the 911 phone call. They were asking, are any firearms or anything missing? And she was unable to confirm whether any of them were missing from the home because William owned several of them in a safe.
To be fair, I wouldn't know if any of our guns were missing or not.
Right.
The ones that I'm familiar with are here.
That's exactly how she was like, I mean, I don't know if anything's missing. I also wouldn't know if anything's missing. So I guess, I don't know.
It's a 50-50. Don't ask me.
Right. And then in the reporting, they say he might have a pistol. So I'm guessing that they took that as we don't know, but she was able to identify none of the rifles were missing. Those were all in their spot, but maybe a pistol or something. I don't know.
Right.
So not confirmed if he had a gun or not. If he did, it was probably a small gun, but we're not sure if anything's missing.
Okay.
But he did have access to weapons.
Well, he's a military guy. Right. That's not unlikely.
Yeah. On February 27th, 2026, shortly after his disappearance, the investigation into William McCasland officially began. As of now, his whereabouts remains unconfirmed publicly, and the circumstances surrounding his disappearance have not been fully explained. Mm-hmm. William's disappearance quickly drew attention due to his long career in space acquisition.
That's a fucking crazy job title.
Access programs and defense technology oversight roles.
Okay.
In online communities, particularly those focused on unidentified aerospace phenomenon, aka aliens, and classified programs, his case became heavily discussed. We're all hearing about, all us crazies are hearing about it.
Yeah.
This interest was amplified by the broader public claims and whistleblower discussions suggesting that existence of highly classified UAP retrieval and reverse engineering programs within defense structures actually exists in our society and in our world, right? It's been kind of rumored and whistleblowers have been coming out, and this guy was directly associated with several of those whistleblowers. He would have this information.
He would have that knowledge.
Okay, I didn't write this down either, but Tom DeLonge from fucking Blink, and he's all into aliens. Allegedly, this guy was really close with him and was giving Tom DeLonge all this information, which I'm like, why is Tom DeLonge talking to fucking and goddamn head guy. Weird. Yeah. I didn't go down that rabbit hole.
You got money, you can get connections.
But weird.
Yeah.
So some narratives suggest that advanced propulsion research and energy systems, which would be discovered by observing these downed crafts, could fundamentally change global energy infrastructure if it ever was made public, which has been my argument from like fucking before. I know I've at least talked to you because you always listen to my crazy shit where I'm like, mark my fucking words. These aliens are tied to like some sort of free energy and it's all being hushed up by the elites. Okay, so that's my generic version. But I have read enough shit that I genuinely believe that.
Yeah.
And maybe this is part of it. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's totally unrelated, but maybe it is. So I'm going to give you a couple more little pieces of evidence that I find suspicious, all right? But just know from here on out is pure speculation. I think I make that pretty evident through all of this. But keep up with me, okay?
Okay.
Because around the same time that McCasland, William, went missing, online activity associated with an X account called TMB Spaceships, which is allegedly linked to William. Like, everybody on there is talking to him like it's William in the past. But, like, nobody has come out and confirmed that this is William's TikTok. But all the information on the profile, all the background, everything aligns with William. And this account didn't just pop up. It's been around, and he's been using it. Or whoever owns it has been using it. And they have been talking.
They would have evidence of that.
As if they're William. Right. But, like, they haven't said shit to us, okay?
Right.
But these are the web sleuths that are like, there's this X account that looks like it's William, and all the evidence suggests that it is. Just nobody has publicly confirmed.
Yeah.
Yes, this is William's X account. Okay.
Listen, you're taking a man my dad's age and trying to make me believe that he's using Twitter. Hard to believe, but also I guess the president is doing it who's older. So maybe. I don't know.
Right? There's so many different kinds of people in this world.
There are so many different kinds of people.
So one post referenced the idea that energy in lightning represents a form of localized energy discharged in a natural field and that electricity itself could theoretically be a sign of free energy, right?
Okay.
Again, this is where it gets like, oh, I had to rack my brain. I'm not smart enough for this, okay, guys?
Yeah,
I had to really
I'm not
break this down. So the post was published February 15th, 2026, which is less than 2 weeks before he went missing.
Okay.
And it's a link to a YouTube video that's titled U.S. Air Force C-17s Transport Micronuclear Reactors. So that's the name and the title of the YouTube video. The text of his post reads, Idiocracy 2026. And then he states the title of the thing, U.S. Air Force C-17s Transport Micronuclear Reactors. No disclosure coming. Like, as in no disclosure in terms of, like, aliens? In terms of energy? Like, all the disclosure talks I've ever heard anything talk about in our government has been, like, alien, which would then link to technology. And this guy was heavily involved in disclosure of the alien shit in our government, okay?
Okay.
So this thing says, no disclosure coming. Hyper-expensive fuel-based nuclear fusion for the plebs. The energy in a lightning bolt is a local nonlinear discharge of the adiabatic field that is always flowing and always available in locality. Electricity can be free. I'm going to break it down.
Okay, thank you.
And again, I'm very dumb, so bear with me.
Same.
So basically, he's making fun of the YouTube video, which is promoting how awesome that, like, our government is that we're using micronuclear reactors to provide energy to some rural military base, right? Like, that's what the whole YouTube video is about. Like, how awesome are we? We got nuclear energy in this tiny little thing, and we're going to go use it in these whatever areas, and we're so whatever. And he's like, yeah, that's what you're selling us to the fucking basic people of the world. We're never going to get to know about what really technology actually exists. And even our own universe in lightning is showing us that energy can be free. All right? So that's basically what he's getting at, okay?
That's fair. Okay.
And just in case anybody's curious, because I was like, what the fuck is an adiabatic field? Which I went down a whole thing. It's basically just a field where they use a bike pump as an example. There is no such thing as a adiabatic field. It's like a form of energy or something where, like, heat isn't required to power it. So they use a bike pump for an example where, like, if you press a bike pump together really fast, it's compressing all the air and it generates heat. So it generates a form of energy, but it didn't require heat to cause it.
Yeah.
So
burning whatever fuels and things like that. Yeah.
So I guess that's what happens in lightning, which I was like, I thought everything in lightning had to do with electron charges and shit. So I don't know. But this guy would have access to information to know the real thing of what's happening in the world. But anyway, so the last post, I'll just skip over that, okay, because I'm not smart enough for it. But he's saying some super smart scientific shit. And he's like, we have free energy.
And this is just 2 weeks before he is missing.
Disappeared.
Okay.
And again, no confirmation that it is his ex account, but like 98% sure it's his ex account.
Yeah. And if he were to have an ex account, he would have all the information.
Right. The last posted, by the way, there was tons of other posts in between there, and they looked like, you know, the picture of a textbook that you would get in school, like the title of it with who wrote it. So I don't know if he was like suggesting reading articles or whatever, but it was just the picture of the textbook. Okay. And I didn't dig to see like what's it about or anything.
Didn't read those?
No. So the last posted activity from that account on X was the day that William went missing on February 26th, and it was posted at 10:28 a.m. So this would have been right before his wife left for the doctor, like 30 minutes before, within the hour is when he goes missing, okay? The post said, quote, generate small local field, high voltage gap, geometrically placed, allowing sustained dwell time in gap. That's it, okay?
Okay. Doesn't make any sense to my little brain.
Me either. But within the comments of that post, someone posted an image titled Propellantless Propulsion, and it essentially depicted what all this verbiage was, okay? The image shows a theoretical machine that claims that it could move a spacecraft without rocket fuel by manipulating plasma, electromagnetic energy, remember our former scientists who are like professionals at that, and possibly gravity, a concept often called propellantless propulsion. So basically free energy, I guess you would call. It probably isn't really free, but you know, I'm just saying that for...
Well, you don't need a propellant. You don't need an explosion, a thing, a burn, a whatever,
right,
to charge it.
Exactly. So it's suggesting that a spacecraft could move by using energy already in the environment, like plasma or electromagnetic fields. And plasma's fucking everywhere, evidently. It's the most abundant goddamn state in the universe, we just learned. Instead of burning fuel, which leads to the idea that motion could happen without traditional energy sources. Okay? This idea is controversial because if a real version of, quote, free energy or fuelless propulsion ever existed, it could disrupt today's entire energy system, which is still largely based on oil, gas, and other fuel industries that billions of dollars depend on, right, guys?
It would topple a bunch of billionaires.
That's why some people argue that even the possibility of such technology is treated carefully or met with skepticism because it would fundamentally change how energy is produced, sold, and controlled worldwide. It's like our number one money grabber, right?
Yeah.
AKA, you got it right. The billionaires who make money off our energy consumption would no longer have that revenue stream, but our Earth would be so happy.
Right. It's the whole reason for this excursion right now.
Right. So if a theoretical propellantless propulsion system were to be built, if it were to ever be built or ever to be figured out, each of the scientists' expertise that I've introduced you to would map to a different part of the system that we would need to build it. So Frank would build the sensors that tell you if the device is actually doing anything at all. Monica would design the material that doesn't fucking break, crack, or anything in extreme heat or energy. Nuno would study how the plasma behaves and the energy stored inside and suddenly released in the system, all that shit, right? Carl would check if anything like this actually exists in space and see if any of those ideas match to real physics, right? Like, he can fucking view the shit out there and tell you if it works or not. And if you're able to recreate it in a lab, like, oh, we just learned something new about physics and we can corroborate it against something else.
Yeah.
And William could potentially oversee all the pieces that come together because he fucking ran all these labs and everything, not to mention that he had to have direct access to all of the technology that would be required in order to invent something like that, which if you believe that it's his ex account, he is actively leaving breadcrumbs behind for us to see that he is arguing that you could do it and that our government is the one trying to sell us plebs this basic nuclear fusion bullshit again and that he is defeated by it, saying there's not going to be disclosure, otherwise you wouldn't be promoting this bullshit because you know it's bullshit. So also just to go on of our little theory, and Of course, I'm just fitting, I don't know, a fucking peg in a square hole or whatever here. I'm just arguing that there is reasonable doubt again.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
Jason Thomas would be representing how extreme systems affect the body at a microscopic level, right? If you're going to be in a fucking spaceship traveling in space, you need to understand, like, oh, we're going to just abruptly stop gravity real quick and turn you. Are you going to turn to a fucking meat blob, or are you going to be okay?
You're going to be vaporized.
Right. And then Anthony and Melissa, they obviously are working in high secure labs where this kind of research, if it's going to happen, would be happening in those labs, right?
Okay.
So my personal note here is, and I'm just saying that if a billionaire in power got wind of a secret project and wanted it destroyed, which they do have a history of doing, right?
Yeah.
These folks just so happen to have the kind of knowledge of a secret project that a billionaire could be taking people out silently. Okay, one theory, right?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I don't want you to do that, and you guys are doing that. Stop that.
Believable.
I want to keep making money off the oil, right?
Yeah, so just cut off the heads.
Or it could totally be all unrelated, and it just so happens that leaders in very influential science communities are missing or dying at the same time for no other reason other than coincidence.
And they just happen to all like going on hikes, bike rides, whatever,
right.
walks around the lakes without all of their technologies on them because they know that they're being tracked and they don't like that, you know?
Right. In the UFO UAP community, the whole claim in general, not related to these scientists, but just in general, is that our government, like I kind of already stated, has reverse engineered these down UAPs and already has a form of free energy technology that's being kept secret to line the pockets of the rich. Because if you consider the fact that the elites would be running these and funding these programs, they would shut shit down, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If they started spilling the beans, like if these scientists did know and they started spilling the beans on these secrets, kind of like that X account suggests, they could possibly be silenced. So again, I'm just giving you more reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
However,
especially like military secrets, they don't like it when you
they'll kill you for that shit.
Yeah,
they
allegedly.
really will. They really will. Despite the overlaps, there's no confirmed evidence that all 8 individuals worked together, shared a unified research goal, or were involved in a single coordinated project. There's no evidence. I don't know.
They're all just the experts in the field. That
Right.
Is pretty conveniently all together.
The only evidence we have is that William and Monica worked in the same ecosystem where William's decisions would have funded Monica's research, allegedly, if they even happened at the same time. I didn't track that down.
Mm-hmm.
The official investigators have treated each case independently, and there's been no public indication of a multi-case task force or coordinated inquiry, like from our government or anybody else. However, I will state that if there's a 3-letter agency refusing to investigate, and they're also the ones who would want the technology suppressed, that, you know, it's not like they're going to be like, yeah, they're all totally related. They're going to be like, no, there's nothing to see here. Carry on. We're going to give you the bare minimum information, which has been my argument the whole time I've been telling you the story.
Yeah,
where I'm like, that's fucking weird. Why aren't we mentioning that? Why is there nothing there?
Yeah.
Is it just public interest, or are they really intentionally trying to hold information?
It's very sweep under the ruggy.
Like, but I'm not going to lie, but I'm not going to tell you the truth.
Trials and things haven't happened yet. Maybe that information just hasn't come out yet, because there's plenty of stories that we tell where it all doesn't come out until after.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my God. Idaho 4. We got to circle back on that
one.
That's a big one. Okay. Okay. So like I said, could be totally unrelated, but I bet you're all wondering, what is my Epstein turn here? Because every one of them has an Epstein, and I've kind of hinted at it, but I fucking dropped the mic last night when I read this one. Okay. But I love to get excited about things, so it's okay if it doesn't do a mic drop for you. Okay.
Okay. I'm ready.
I searched all the names in the file. I never got a direct hit. I got a lot of weird ancillary ones that sent me on other rabbit holes. But I found a tiny little thread or shred of evidence to suggest that my theory on these scientists might be tied to the Epstein network. But first, let me list the weird things I found. McCasland, the name, like William McCasland, it pops up in a solicitation email to Epstein by Hakeem Jeffries, who is inviting him to a charity dinner with someone who includes a Michael McCasland. And I couldn't track down any relation to William. I tried, but I couldn't. But oddly enough, there's a Michael McCasland in Texas who has sexual assault charges against a minor in the early 2000s.
That's shocking.
And he also has a note like saying that he wants his case, which I'm assuming he was found guilty for. Again, I was like, this is a rabbit hole I can't go all the way down right now. But he wants his case wiped out in like 2036. I guess you can request after a certain amount of time, like your crimes get disappeared or some shit. So
I don't like that you all know that I did this horrible thing.
Yeah, so you better believe I'm going to hunt that one down and read all the shit, and that'll be a separate case. I don't even know if it's related, but what the fuck was that?
If you want it covered up, I want it out here.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. But that was a side adventure I didn't go down. The other thing I found was a 2003 business presentation from the Institute for Scientific Simulation, called ISS, pitching a software system called ACES, or Advanced Collaborative Engineering System. It popped up when I searched up propulsion because I tried to look like JPL up, and it was fucking all over the place, all right? We'd be talking to JPL professors all the time. In fact, Epstein was hosting things on his island, like conferences on his island and shit, and none of our scientists were in there, but there were JPL scientists there, okay? So that's a whole other world to go down.
Yeah, I've heard he's real into that rocket science and physics.
Oh, he was super into technology. He was in everything, right?
Yeah.
Our textbooks, technology, everything.
Yeah.
ACES, the software program, it was designed as a, quote, digital twin and intelligent model system to allow teams to design complex aerospace systems like satellites or propellantless propulsion systems in a virtual environment, significantly reducing design time and cost. So this is like a computer program that you can use. It does all the physics of Earth, but you get to do it here for free.
Okay, yeah, simulations.
The project's senior partner included Christine Maxwell, who is the older sister of Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah, heard that name.
Which explains how the business pitch likely reached Epstein's hands for funding. And while it's unclear if Epstein actually invested, the presence of these slides proves that he was at least aware of the tool and he was being petitioned for funding. Because the last slide was like steps to success or something. And the first one was like cancel our current funding because you know they're all being funded by the government, right? So then you have to meet certain requirements. Yeah. And the next one said Series B financing, which I'm assuming is to go to individual financiers like Epstein and get money, okay?
Okay.
ACE was successful, and the system's predecessor, GenSat, was successfully used by NASA, JPL, and Naval Research Lab for satellite trade-off studies. So it's being used today, and all of the same systems of the people who just ended up disappeared or dead, it's being used today in all of those laboratories and everything. And while the specific ACES company has since dissolved, the concept of this whole thing is now standard taught at MIT and used across the defense industry to manage complex government projects. And I'm just saying, with my big brain of pattern recognition, that if Jeffrey Epstein or his inner circle is responsible for an engineering tool that could allow scientists to create a virtual propellantless propulsion system, they probably have the ability to surveil those people using their tools. So they'd be easily identifiable, right? Like log into the system and then you can use it.
Right.
And I could easily see what projects you're listed on, so I could easily get rid of you if you've gone too far.
You go rogue.
Or they could just, at the very least, identify which scientist invented what, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. I'm on board with the it's all fucking crazy and coincidental, maybe.
Right.
It's all strange.
Some cases we probably have enough information to say, like, okay, like Jason Thomas, he's probably sad and he suicided himself. Everybody else says that's weird, but
maybe.
I'm okay with it. Like,
you're not going to kill yourself. If you just have your wife and dogs, you're not going to kill yourself because your parents died. I feel
and
like
they were his world.
That's such a slight to your family, to your wife. That's like, you're just going to leave me here? Fuck you.
But he took his Apple Watch off to not be tracked.
That's
weird.
So weird.
Or like Melissa.
Well, he could have been going to meet another lady, though. He could have been cheating or something. And then she got mad that he's not going to leave his wife or something. Up. Yeah. Or that. Yeah.
Could have been. Or in Melissa's case, who worked at Los Alamos that forgot her badge. The husband later said it was odd because she was able to like badge into the parking lot or something, so she didn't forget her badge. Like, I think later he was remembering.
What?
I'm putting words in because that's the only way I could justify not mentioning that sooner, or not being like, yeah, I thought it was weird because she badged me in. Like, you'd be like, no, you have your badge now.
Yeah.
But he said that she used her badge to badge them into the parking garage and area. Whatever. What? And she clearly lied to him. She was like, oh, yeah, I'll for sure be there at 11.
Yeah.
So to me, that points to all signs of just going to disappear. But to factory reset your phone, again,
or to have a phone call or something, or contact by someone that says, hey, you need to come do this thing and you can't tell anyone and whatever. You know,
right.
You were saying, meet me at this place or whatever.
Yeah.
But to walk on the freeway.
And then all the other people that just straight up vanished, disappeared or whatever. I mean, that's what happens to victims who start blowing the whistle.
Yeah.
It's not unheard of. It's just, it would be shocking if that's true. But it also, the timing aligns quite well with a system that might want to quiet people, especially in a world of like shouting disclosure and demanding it.
It could be even people, not necessarily people that are blowing the whistle or that are talking about it, but people that have the potential to.
Like, absolutely. Like, let's go ahead and stop this before it gets out of hand.
Yeah, like people who, I don't know, build castles or whatever, right? And then they build all these like secret tunnels and things into it, and then they kill all the builders so that nobody knows. You don't know how it works. You know, you kill all the builders of this,
which would align with my virtual world where you can build a propellantless propulsion system or something.
Right.
And the day the motherfucker's tweeting about it, he goes missing. Starting to say too much. Starting to be too much information out there.
I would be very interested to see if that was his Twitter account, and it hasn't posted since he...
Hasn't posted since. And everybody's on there, like, talking like it's him.
Yeah. Like, has been always?
Like, if you go in the past, yeah, it's just like normal physics, whatever. And there's like a bio on there that matches all of his... Remember I named off all those accolades?
Yeah.
His bio pretty much matches it. So either somebody's been impersonating him for a while.
Yeah.
Or it's his.
Yeah.
And they don't want you to know it's his, because that's a crumb. That's an Easter egg.
You could also think that guy's too smart for that. Like, he's smart enough to not be...
But imagine, I could see a world where you already see the writing on your wall, right? Like, he's been inside the system forever. He knows what happens to people who say shit or do shit. He's trying to get this shit disclosed, and he's being met with resistance because of corruption.
He's frustrated about
and he already knows, I'm losing my brain. I'm losing shit. I don't have really much to live for. I'm going to try to oust this for humanity. Or maybe not even that. Maybe he's just like, fuck you. I'm going to say some shit now. Fuck you. And they were like, no, you're not. And they got him.
Well, and to talk to Tom DeLonge, like, obviously he was coming out and saying something to somebody.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Like, there's so much more to research. And guys, I spent so much time even just getting this, because I haven't found a place that's told us everybody's story.
Yeah.
But when I read all their stories, I was like, the only way I can connect it is the way I shared it.
Yeah.
Which I truly, honestly believe in. But that's me personally. Like, I've been deep in these Epstein files. I feel like I understand the recipe, and they just stamp and repeat it for different industries, you know? So I wouldn't be that surprised. I would be more shocked because they don't all align. So I would see it more as like from an infrastructure, if you're able to understand who's using what data, then you could target them that way. Or to your point, maybe it's just that they would be the first people to go to. And so they're offing them and sending a message to the community. Don't go anywhere with this. Like, we don't want it to... I don't know, though.
They can't be the only ones in their field that know that stuff either,
Well, right as I was done with this, there was something that said, there's a 9th scientist. And I was like, not today, guys. We're just doing 8. We're not doing
the time.
Yeah. But anyway, that's my story, and we got to go because I got to go pick up kids. But I love you guys, and thanks for listening. And sorry if that was too batshit crazy, but I feel like I'm on to something.
Listen, I'm for it.
I feel like I'm on to something.
If nothing else, these scientists need to fucking stay inside.
Right.
I don't know.
And by the way, the only thing that's an original thought is my hunt into the Epstein files. Everything else was like, I was suggested heavily on TikTok, and then I ran down and investigated it.
Yeah.
So I'm not like a genius.
You didn't put them all together. People
No.
put them together. However.
No. Interesting,
that's
right?
Fucking crazy. Yeah.
So if you guys want to check out pictures pertaining to our case, you should go to our social media. We're on Instagram, X, like William, TikTok, and Facebook. Our handle is at ISGD Podcast. If you want to email us, you could do that at isgdpodcast@gmail.com, or you can snail mail us at
P.O. Box 2764, Spring Valley, California, 91979.
9. Bye, guys.
Bye.